a very pleasant good evening to you from Knightstown, Indiana. Another edition of high school basketball coming your way on 9-Star TV. As you can see right there, we've just finished honoring our country with the playing of the national anthem as the Knightstown Panthers, a record of 6-7, get ready to do battle with the Daleville Broncos, who are 10-4. I'm John Herrick, joined by Jarrett Lewis up in the booth and the rest of the fine crew with 9-Star Films. It is so great to have you with us on this Tuesday night for baseball. You know, Jarrett, this has been a situation where the last few days we've kind of wondered if Mother Nature would cooperate with us, and we've had a lot of rain showers across Indiana, but those have mostly stayed to the north of Knightstown, so it looks like we will get this baseball game in tonight between Knightstown and Daleville. Really quickly, what are your thoughts about both these teams tonight?
Well, John, I hate to break it to you, but you've already started off 0-1. We're playing a baseball game tonight, not basketball.
Yeah, you're right. Very good point, yeah.
But really, two different teams, really, record-wise. Obviously, Knightstown just below 500, and Daleville currently riding a 3-game winning streak. They have plenty of guys in this lineup that can hit. You're looking at Josh Price, who's coming in this game at batting .444. He's going to be the second man behind Max Stetcher in this lineup, and also Peyton Smith, a real big body who's going to be hitting in the third spot. Just guys with real good numbers. Plenty of guys on this Daleville team who are also hitting above 300 with plenty of at-bats also. But we'll move on over to Knightstown now and look at Brock Corbett's stats. But he's coming in with an 0-0 record, but ERA right at 7, which could be improved on. 11 strikeouts also. Not too bad to start off this season. But for Knightstown, it's really going to be about controlling these really dominant hitters that Daleville presents.
Well, the other thing is, are you concerned about with if you are, you know, you're Knightstown, you're coming in a bit on a different streak here. You've lost, you know, your last 3 games, but Daleville's been playing a lot better. If you're Knightstown, you're playing at home. What do you got to do to get yourself out of this funk you're in?
Well, to kind of improve on the second half of the season, you're just going to have to attack first pitch fastballs that are in there for strikes, be able to play some small ball, move runners from first to second, find plenty of different ways to score runs, because Daleville, not a team that allows plenty of runs. They've only given up about 50 on the season while scoring over 150. So Daleville really a good team at controlling the opposing team from scoring.
Leading off for
great
Daleville,
pitching.
the top of the first.
But right now we'll start off with them.
Max Stecker.
Hitting in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, Max Stecker starts off. He has a batting average of .222. So right-hander versus right-hander. The first pitch on its way in for a strike. Beautifully thrown there. And looking at other numbers for Max Stecker. Daleville, a team, by the way, very impressive offensively, scoring 10 runs a game and allowing just 4, as that pitch misses down and away to make the count 1-1. And Max Stecker this year, 52 plate appearances so far, 19 runs scored, 8 hits, 6 runs driven in, and also has 2 doubles. And that pitch bounces down and away to make it 2-1. Well, starting to see a little bit of the sun, which is a good sign. High temperature has been in the upper 60s most of the day. Looks like the wind is blowing in a little bit. The 2-1 pitch puts it in play over to first base. Jack Fort, the first baseman, has a foot race over there, and he just was able to beat Max Stecker to first base. And that brings up Josh Price, by the way.
Number 3, Josh Price.
Let's get to the rest of the Daleville lineup. Josh Price next, a senior center fielder, then Peyton Smith, senior second baseman. Then it's Jared Waltermeyer in the cleanup position, playing third base. Ethan Pittsford is 5th and is the catcher. Evan Etchison is at first base. 7th is Jimmy Bowen, the right fielder. 8th is Aiden Wilson, the left fielder. And 9th is Caden Gothrop, the pitcher for Daleville. And that pitch is sprayed foul down the right field line by Josh Price, who has had a really good season so far, .444 batting average. And this is his 51st plate appearance, 18 runs scored, 20 hits. He is tied for the team lead in that category, 18 driven in, does have a home run and a double, but is behind here in the count 0-2. A couple of the Knightstown players are I guess you could say, unlucky enough that they get to go chase down those 2 foul balls. Here is the 0-2, and that one bounces for a ball, 1-2. But what do you make of the way Knightstown's come out to start this game a little bit? It seems like they've got a little bit of their momentum on their side. Here's the 1-2. Ooh, that was awfully close.
Looks like Regan isn't afraid to attack Price with all the pitches he has. He's thrown him some fastballs, also some curveballs, and I believe the first 2 pitches were off speed to Price, the ones that he fouled off. We'll see what he goes with right here, 2-2.
That one a little too high to run the count full, so Josh Price, after falling behind early, 3-2, or 0-2, has now come back to make it 3-2. Knightstown coming off a tough loss to Try last night, 15-0. And that one bounces for ball 4. That is a big at bat there by Josh Price. Got off to a rough start, came back to draw a walk, and that brings up Peyton Smith for Daleville.
The second baseman, number 14, Peyton Smith.
And a .513 batting average for Smith. 48th plate appearance, 20 hits, 23 runs batted in, and has 5 doubles, does have a home run. And home runs, you don't see as many of them in high school, but Daleville has 8 as a team. And that one goes in for a strike. And really, the impressive thing about it, they're not all from really one guy or even a couple of guys. 7 different players have hit a home run on this roster. You take a look at Terry Turner, head coach for Daleville in his 4th year, has had a great stint with this program, trying to get career win number 108 tonight. Count evens up at 1-1 on Smith. Throw back to first base. Oh, a little bit wide, but Jack Ford able to hold on to it. On defense for Knightstown, it's Jack Ford at first base, Ethan Yoder at second, Matthew Kraft at short, Max Muncie's at third base, Brock Corbett is the catcher, Ben Newby in left, Jose Olivo center field, and Brendan Anderson is in right field as that one floats down to make it 2-1.
And Price is definitely someone that the Panthers are going to have to watch over there at first base. He does lead the team in stolen bases with 9. And this team as a whole, Daleville, a great percentage on the base pass, 31 for 35.
Makes contact, drives it into center, and it drops right over the head of Ethan Yoder. Runners on first and second for Daleville. So after the first man retired was Stecker. A walk to Price and a single to Smith. And that brings up the cleanup man, Jared Waltermeyer.
Number 12, Jared Waltermeyer.
And Waltermeyer has struggled to begin the year. Again, that, as you see there on replay, that ball was really just hitting the most perfect position where he just didn't have a whole lot of room to go get it. Reagan has to step off the mound there. Waltermeyer, 7 runs driven in, does have one of the team's 8 home runs. And the pitch jammed him. This should be playable, and it is for Ethan Yoder. So there's 2 outs, and Ethan Pittsford, it'll be up to him to see if he can keep the inning alive.
With 2 outs, the catcher, number 18, Ethan Pittsford.
And he has had a pretty solid season, .333 batting average. This will be his 46th plate appearance. Has 12 hits and 10 driven in. One thing, if you come into Knightstown, you walk in, you see the posters out there on the field. You see that for the 3 Knightstown seniors. That's a pretty cool moment there. Ethan Yoder, Jose Olivo, and also Brendan Anderson. And they're kind of on the entryway, along with these girls who are seniors for the softball team. And they're practicing just behind us. The runners look like they might go, and he gets hit by a pitch. So mistake by Aaron Regan there, hitting Ethan Pittsford, and that puts Price on third, Smith on second, and now Pittsford goes to first to load the bases, and he'll have a courtesy runner come on here for him for Daleville. This is Derek Lawrence.
Courtesy runner for Daleville,
senior.
number 24, Derek Lawrence.
So Derek Lawrence on first
Now
base
batting
to
for the
run
Broncos,
for
the first
Pittsford.
baseman, number 7, Evan Etchison.
This is definitely not what you want here, Jared. If you're Knightstown, you're 6-7. You've been struggling. You're playing a Daleville team that's been red hot of late, and you get yourself into a bases-loaded situation. Granted, there are 2 outs, but Evan Etchison is up.
And Etchison is no pushover, so.
No, as you can tell there by the batting average. And Regan misses outside for that one.
Well, Regan hasn't looked too comfortable so far up on the mound. He's fallen behind in the counts, or had Price down 0-2, and then ended up pushing it full. He's walked one guy, of course, hit the last batter. Throws a strike here, but just hasn't seemed too comfortable as he has in the past so far on the mound.
Well, doesn't have as many appearances or, experience as other guys on the roster, and with as many games as Knightstown has played lately, they've had to go deeper into their pitching staff than as normal. But that one driven into center by Etchison. Jose Olivo drifting and is there to make the play to end the inning. So in that top of the first inning for Daleville, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They do leave 3 men aboard, and we stay scoreless going into the bottom of the first inning. So let's meet the starting lineups for the Knightstown Panthers. They will go with Jose Olivo to lead off the inning once he goes up to bat. He is a senior center fielder. Jack Fort bats second in the order. He is a junior first baseman. Third is Aaron Regan, the sophomore pitcher. Fourth is Ben Newby, a sophomore left fielder. Fifth is Ethan Yoder, senior second baseman. Sixth is Brendan Anderson, the senior right fielder. Seventh is Max Muncy, the junior who is manning the hot corner at third. Eighth is Matthew Kraft, the junior shortstop. And ninth is Brock Corbett, who is the sophomore catcher. The head coach for Knightstown, Darren Hardesty. And we told you about the one for Daleville earlier, head coach Terry Turner. The defense for Daleville, Aiden Wilson is playing in left field, Josh Price in center, Jimmy Bowen in right. On the third base side, Jared Waltermeyer, Max Stecker at short, Peyton Smith at second, Evan Etchison at first, Ethan Pittsford is the catcher, Caden Gothrop right there on the mound pitching for Daleville, and you just got a good look at his numbers as he comes into this contest with a record of 2-1. And the other key numbers for him, a 3.82 ERA. And Darren Hardesty in his 6th season with Knightstown. Over 100 wins to his credit as well. So, Jarrett, these are 2 very accomplished coaches.
They really are. And I remember my playing days just last year being a senior playing for Eastern Hancock, and remember Coach Darren Hardesty from last year, just really well put together coach. He knows exactly what he's doing, has had plenty of great kids also come through this program, and Knightstown has had great history, plenty of sectional championships to talk about. So Coach Darren Hardesty, you're getting the best out of him here at Knightstown. And then on the other side, of course, Terry Turner in his 4th year, but definitely an experienced coach well before his time at Daleville. And Daleville has had a state finals appearance just last year or 2 years ago, if somewhere around there. So, you're getting one of the 2 best coaches
leading off for Knightstown
in this area.
Fielder, number 11, Jose Olivo.
Jose Olivo coming up. So you got a left-hander in Caden Gothrop. Jose Olivo batting .273 on the year, a senior center fielder. And some other things to know about Olivo: 9 hits, 14 runs scored, 5 driven in. And also on the flip side, we mentioned all the home runs that Daleville has hit. Knightstown has not hit a home run this year. And Olivo goes after the first pitch and knocks it foul. You're just joining us, we're in the bottom of the first, 9-Star TV. Daleville and Knightstown tied at 0-0, but Daleville had a chance in the top of the first. They got runners aboard on all 3 bases, had them loaded and left them loaded. The 0-1, and Olivo gets a piece of it and hits it back to the net. I think almost hit one of our crowd mics down there.
Gothrop's doing a nice job here, starting off Olivo Just throwing straight heat. Already has him down 0-2. See what he goes with here.
Gothrop stays outside, but a little too far outside, making it 1-2. The 1-2. Hammers it down the right field line, and it will go foul. Also, interesting thing about the state finals for baseball this year, they'll be played on a Monday and a Tuesday. It's not usually the way it goes, but it is that way this year. June 17th and 18th at Victory Field in Indianapolis, of course, where the Indianapolis Indians play. The 1-2. Well, a breaking ball that Olivo smashes into left. And you could just tell the way that ball broke in. That was right where Olivo wanted it, and he hammers it for a base hit.
And Gothrop left it
The
hanging.
first baseman, number 42.
He left
Jack
it hanging
Fort.
right up there where Olivo could go after it, and he nicely puts the bat on it, got the first man on base for the Panthers.
Jack Fort is next, the first baseman, batting .321 for Knightstown. This will be his 44th plate appearance, has 9 hits, 7 runs batted in. The team leader in that category is Ben Newby, who we are supposed to see in the cleanup spot. In this lefty-lefty battle, the first pitch is a strike from Caden Gothrop, 0-1.
And Gothrop started off Fort there with a breaking ball. Fort's most likely looking to bunt here to get Olivo over, and he'll still stick with that.
Yeah, he does, but he bunts it right into the glove of Pittsford. Throw to second, not in time. Nicely done by Jose Olivo as he steals second base. So for Jose Olivo, he just stole his 12th base of the year. And he is the team leader in that category. They now have, as a team, Knightstown, 47 stolen bases. And this is their 14th game, so they can get it going on the base paths. They average about 3 stolen bases a contest, but not the end result they wanted there as Jack Fort goes down swinging for the first out of the bottom of the first.
Yeah,
With one
you
out,
would have liked to
the
see
pitcher,
Fort
number 5,
at least put the
Aaron
ball in play there,
Reagan.
down 0-2, get it towards the right side of the field. Him being a left-handed hitter, that would move Olivo over to third base, and now the Panthers would be cooking here in the first inning, but unfortunately he goes down swinging.
Aaron Reagan, batting .390, is up next. He is your 3-hole hitter, and he takes a ball that's a little bit high. 1-0 the count. 15 runs scored, 16 hits, 7 driven in. And he is the team leader in hits and also the team leader in runs scored. And he chops that one foul. 1-1. Of course, when you see how well-rounded his hitting numbers are, that is exactly probably why he's in the 3rd spot in the batting order, because your 3-hole hitter typically needs to be your best all-around hitter. And it looks like, based on the numbers, that Reagan is. And the pitch misses again, but you can tell Gothrop loves to go off speed, and he likes to kind of live on the outer portion of the plate. At least that's the way he's been so far in this matchup.
And what makes that breaking ball so nice that Gothrop has is his fastball, and we've seen him for the first time in our lifetime here, being announcers calling this game, but his fastball looks to be pretty fast, definitely faster than what we saw with Aaron Reagan in the top of the inning. But that fastball that he brings is definitely something that improves that curveball, just the great speed difference that you're going to see.
Well, that one misses outside to make it 3-1, and now Gothrop's going to have a word with Max Stecker, the shortstop, for a moment. By the way, lots of history in the town of Knightstown. The Hoosier Gym is here. In fact, it's just down the road, the gym where they filmed the movie Hoosiers in. And that pitch almost hit him, but it was ball 4 anyway. So Regan takes first base. So Regan's on first, Olivo on second. And much like Daleville in the top of the first, Knightstown's got something brewing here in the bottom of the
The
first.
left fielder, number 44, Ben Newby.
Maybe it's just getting the nerves out real quick in this first inning, but we've seen both pitchers, like you said, John, haven't been too comfortable so far on the hill.
Runner goes, Olivo to third base, and he's out big time. Bold strategy. Of course, Gothrop had his back more toward him with being a lefty, and he throws Olivo out at third base. And, with Olivo's speed and the fact that he stole second, I can't necessarily blame him for trying there, but now there's 2 outs in the inning. But while he was thrown out at third, Aaron Regan did take second base. So you still have a runner in scoring position if you're Knightstown, as Newby fans that one.
Now, when Regan was up, I did see Olivo on second base kind of take in an extra jump, a big lead, not having Gothrop taking a look at him. And right there, he just got unlucky because Gothrop wasn't looking at him at all. And then, unfortunately, the Broncos in the infield were able to tell Gothrop that Olivo was going.
This Daleville team, again, that 3-1 in their conference. And they are 2-2 on the road this year, 1-0 on neutral sites. For Knightstown, a little bit of a different story. 2-4 on the road, but they are 4-3 at home. Home is where they are tonight, as that one ripped and missed by Newby, who is batting .237 on the season. Does have 9 hits, 15 runs batted in. The team leader in the run RBI category, and also has 4 doubles in the cleanup spot. Puts this one in play over to second. Peyton Smith is there. On to first, inning over. So both teams get guys on base but come up empty, and we head to the second with the score. 0-0 between Knightstown and Daleville on 9-Star TV.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. A community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. 9-Star Connect. Community-owned. Community strong.
Live on 9-Star TV, this great baseball matchup in Knightstown was the Knightstown Panthers hosting the Daleville Broncos. Knightstown a record of 6-7, trying to get back to 500. Daleville trying to build on their good start through the first 14 games of the season. They are 10-4. Aaron Regan, the starting pitcher for Knightstown, got out of a jam there in the first, and he will face the bottom portion of the Daleville order to begin the second. Jimmy Bowen, Aiden Wilson, and Caden Gothrop.
The right fielder,
And
number 4, Jimmy Bowen.
Well, you can tell. Look at those fans right there, Jared. They're in a great spot, living life. And a lot of folks have come out tonight and brought their own chairs, sitting in the grass. It is a little bit of light jacket weather, but still, with the sun out now, it feels considerably warmer, as Jimmy Bowen couldn't catch up to that first pitch and falls behind 0-1.
Two completely different situations for those people sitting there in the lawn chairs.
Yeah.
One guy with a short sleeve tee, and then the other, the lady, she was bundled up like it was football weather.
The 0-1, a little too far inside to make it 1-1. Yeah, it's I don't know how the women are in your life, Jarrett, but most of the girls I know, they get cold no matter how hot it is.
No, you're exactly right.
That's how my mom and my grandma both are. This one swung on and knocked over to second. There is Ethan Yoder. Buddy bobbles it for a second and throws to first and will not retire. Jimmy Bowen, I think that's going to go down as an error in the scoring column. Let's take a look here.
It looked like a pretty easy play for Yoder to make. Just
the left fielder, number 19,
lost his focus.
Aiden Wilson.
So there you go, the first error of the game, charged to Knightstown's Ethan Yoder. And, I think the ball may have taken a little bit of a funny hop as he tried to field it, but again, he did have some time to pick it up and throw to first, but he could not get Bowen. Aiden Wilson is next. He tries to lay down a bunt and pushes it foul.
Yeah, it looks like Wilson, just like what we saw with the Panthers in their last at-bat, trying to move the runner over to first. Wilson just lets the ball get in a little bit too deep. Want to try and bunt that out in front of you and get that out in fair territory.
That is the 22nd error on defense for Knightstown this year and the 3rd error on Yoder. Pitch is high. Throw to first base. He could be in trouble, and he got him. Nice play by Brock Corbett to get Jimmy Bowen. Boy, this is you don't normally see this many pickoffs on defensive base runners, but Bowen was a little too far away, and a good job by Corbett thinking maybe, oh, I'll just check him, but then he saw how far away he was, and Jack Fort with an excellent tag there on the end of the play.
Coach Timmy Turner didn't look too pleased with his base runner, and it looks like he expected Wilson to get the bunt down and took off too soon, and he thought Wilson was going to be able to get it down, but unfortunately he didn't. He just got caught in the middle of nowhere. And a good throw by Corbett, way to be on his toes.
And the count is 2-1 to Aiden Wilson, who is batting .321 this year. It's Wilson, then Gothrop, then we go back to the top of the order, and Wilson sends it high in the air to right. Henderson going back. I think he's going to run out of room, and he will, as the ball bounces foul. But a good piece of contact there by Wilson. He's just going to have a long walk back to home plate. Also for Wilson, he does have 6 runs batted in. He does have 3 doubles as well. Looking for his 10th hit of the season.
And 19 runs also. That's something to mention, which is tied for the team lead. That shows he's able to get on base any way he can and get around the bases and into home. Also saw him lick his bat, kind of a Yasiel Puig tribute before this pitch.
And charging at it, Muncy. Throw is wide. Fort tried to go out to get it, and that will end up putting Wilson on second base at the minimum. He'll stay there. He was thinking about going for more, but I think that's going to end up being another error, and it is. Max Muncy's throw, I mean, again, he's able to field it, and he has time, and that looks like a pretty routine throw, and he just missed.
The pitcher, number 17, Caden Gothrop.
Not a very good first 2 innings for the Panthers defensively. And with Reagan, who's been kind of half and half so far on the mound, able to get some ground balls, but his defense hasn't backed him up so far. We've seen the error from the second baseman and now the third baseman, Muncy.
Now Caden Gothrop is next, and he's batting very impressive. .562 as the lefty takes ball 1. He does have 16 runs batted in, second on the team in that category. 20 hits, 10 runs scored, 5 doubles. Does have the most doubles on the team. Also has a home run. Next pitch is down and away.
We did mention earlier there's plenty of guys on this Daleville Broncos team, John, who are batting above 300, and there are 6 of them who have had 30 at-bats batting over 300. Gothrop, I'm not sure if he is one of them, but you did mention the very impressive batting average, even with the few amount of hits.
Throw to second, and we have a potential run down here. Matthew Kraft throws to third. Aiden Wilson looks to be in some trouble, but he's trying to get out of it. Throw to second, and he is gone. Nice job there by the Knightstown defense, and again, I've got to think that, my goodness, head coach Terry Turner's got to be infuriated. You've managed to get a couple of runners on base, a couple of errors by Knightstown, and both guys that you got on are now off into the dugout with 2 outs, and now the base is empty for Caden Gothrop. Should he stay alive, we go back to the top of the order with Max Stecker. If he does not, the inning will end. Due up for Knightstown, batters 5, 6, and 7, as that pitch makes it a full count now. 3-2 to Caden Gothrop.
John, I don't know if I've seen as many base running mishaps as we have in these first inning and a half.
And Gothrop shows bunt with 2 strikes, and the pitch ends up going wide, and Gothrop is going down to first with a walk. So the second walk issued by Aaron Reagan. And that's going to draw a powwow on the mound with Brock Corbett. And also we'll bring on a
Now
courtesy
batting, the
runner
shortstop,
for
number 23,
Caden
Max
Gothrop.
Stecker.
And good job on Corbett's part going out to the mound to talk to his pitcher, trying to settle him down. He knows that he's been put in a tough situation with his infield creating some errors, but
Pitch ready for
Daleville
Daleville,
ends
number
up shooting
5,
themselves in the
Blake
foot by
Townsend.
making these base running mishaps. So Knightstown has gotten lucky after Daleville got lucky.
Blake Johnson is the courtesy runner. Throw to first base, not in time by Reagan. So now you got to worry about Caden Gothrop over at first base. Gothrop has stolen 5 bases this year. And as a team, 31 stolen bases by Daleville. And you can tell why they're aggressive. It's just that aggressiveness has not paid off yet. Shows bunt, and the pitch goes over his head to the wall. Gothrop will stand in going into second base. He'll get there easily. So a wild pitch against Aaron Reagan, and that makes it 2 balls, no strikes with 2 outs. And you can just see there, pitch just got away.
And being a former catcher, those are one of the worst kind of pitches to catch because they're up in around the hands of the batter. You don't know if it's going to hit his body or the bat, so you kind of stick your glove out there. Hopefully you catch it, but in this instance, Corbett couldn't come up with it.
And that pitch is outside.
And that wild pitch now sets up a beautiful opportunity for Daleville to come up with something after the bad base running.
Max Stecker grounded out to first, back in the first, shows bunt here. Pitch is low, ball 4, and there's the throw to third base. It's low. Max Muncy did a good job of grabbing it, but good job also there by Gothrop to get to third base because, yeah, even though it was ball 4, it was still live, and Brock Corbett had some trouble with it. So Stecker gets on first. So you've had Stecker walked, Price walked, Gothrop walked. Those are the 3 first base passes issued there by Aaron Reagan tonight, putting him now
The center fielder, number
at
3,
8 walks
Josh Price.
on the season. And that'll bring up Josh Price, who was walked in the last at bat by Aaron Reagan. Daleville seems like they've had multiple rallies in these first 2 innings with all the mistakes, but unfortunately they have just not, for them, they have not been able to take advantage.
And both teams are going to have to clean up the baseball that they've played so far in these first in this first inning and a half. Both teams have committed errors. Knightstown adding to it with some walks.
And there's a throw that caught by Aaron Reagan, and they end up catching Corbett in a rundown, but he may get out of it. And he's tagged out. Or correction, that was Blake Johnson. Blake Johnson, the courtesy runner. And how about that decision by Aaron Reagan there, Jared? I mean, the ball was thrown to second base, and Reagan jumped up and caught it. And I don't know if that was by design or not, but so, and you could probably see right there. You could
Coach Terry Turner is not happy. 3 outs in that inning, and they were all by bad base running.
Yeah.
You almost got to think, though, if that right there by Knightstown was designed, if Corbett is making a really hard throw through the pitcher's head and Reagan is supposed to go after that ball, I know when I was in high school we had that sort of play where we would act like we would try and gun the runner down from first to second, but the pitcher would cut that one off and try and get the runner at third, and that's exactly what happened there. Coach Terry Turner is not happy that 3 outs in that inning were all by bad base running.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that'll make a coach pull his hair out.
And we could definitely hear him from up here.
Yep. Yeah, that he was, and you could hear him right there. 3 different guys got picked off to end the top of the second. So now they'll have to do it on the defensive end with Knightstown up to bat here. Ethan Yoder, Brendan Anderson, and Max Muncy are due up. Batters 5, 6, and 7 in the order for the Knightstown Panthers. By the way, coming up after this game for Knightstown, they play Hagerstown on May 3rd, so that's not for a few days. Then they have a doubleheader against Union County on May 4th. Back home against Decatur, then they go to Waldron. Got a doubleheader against LaPel on May 11th, so they still have a lot of baseball left. But one of the things that's been driving, I think, teams crazy, Jared, is the fact that, you try to find a way to get games played, and it's just been hard to do that with Mother Nature being this way. And you got all these April showers.
You don't know what you're going to get with this Indiana weather, but yeah, plenty of games have been canceled, and not sure if they're going to be rescheduled or not. But thankfully, the bad weather missed us today, and we got ourselves a baseball game.
Now,
if you're living
the second
in northern,
baseman, number 6.
You lived
Ethan
in northern Indiana.
Yoder.
That was not the case. I mean,
No.
if you checked radar, northern Indiana got smashed today with some rain. Ethan Yoder, 259 batting average. The pitch, big rip and a miss there. Also for Yoder, this is plate appearance number 31 for him. 7 hits, 4 driven in, has scored 5 runs. And the 0-1. Perfectly thrown there by Gothrop to get ahead in the count, 0-2.
Gothrop has started off a lot of the Knightstown batters so far with just first pitch fastballs, trying to throw the heat right on by him. Now you got him down 0-2, and you could throw anything.
The 0-2, well, he got him to pop it up, but it's foul. Would you say, I mean, I always hear guys say a 2-0 count's a fastball count. Would you agree with that? Or
at this level, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you get up to the majors, of course, guys can throw anything anytime.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's really key as a high school pitcher to not get down 2-0.
When fouled off, it looked like Yoder might have, I don't know if hit that off his foot or off home plate, but it was definitely foul, so we'll do it again. And, of course, if you're a hitter, the last thing you want to do is get behind 0-2.
Right. And just a really good job by Gothrop here, being able to get these hitters, and we've seen multiple of them, of these first 5 batters, where he's gotten them down in the count.
The 0-2, check swing, he tried to, I think he went.
And Yoder looked like he knew that he went.
Second strikeout
the right
for
fielder,
Caden
number
Gothrop.
14, Brendan Anderson.
Brendan Anderson is next, a 267 batting average for him. Plate appearance number 16, does have 2 runs scored, but Anderson has only played about half the season, a little over half the season. As the lefty couldn't catch up to that. This is just his 9th game out of 14. This Knightstown Panther team, headed up by Darren Hardesty, trying to find something that works.
Beautiful off-speed there from Gothrop.
And I think you kind of see right there why some coaches love the lefty-lefty matchup. The way that ball moves, the angle, it tends to favor the pitcher sometimes. And I think that's a great example of it. I mean, the way it moved, it didn't look like it was going to be a strike, but then where it landed was a strike, and that ball is bounced foul by Anderson as he tries to stay alive behind in the count, 0-2.
And he came right back with that off-speed pitch. We saw that second strike, how Anderson wasn't totally expecting that pitch to break. He thought it was going to hit him as he kind of wailed backwards to avoid being hit, but beautiful off-speed from Gothrop.
The 0-2, perfectly thrown by Gothrop, and down goes Anderson looking. Put that one in your score sheet as a backwards K.
With
and
2 outs,
like you said,
the third
Jared, that
baseman,
fastball from
number
Gothrop
10,
is working
Max
well.
Muncy.
You're almost not expecting that fastball because it's a fastball. You're looking for something crazy. You're looking for some junk. And Gothrop totally caught Anderson off guard.
Max Muncy, the next batter, playing in his 8th game this year. The pitch, and fouls it off. Muncy batting just 167. 261 rather. I'll learn how to read one of these days.
That happens to be the other Muncy, I believe.
Yeah, that is the other Muncy.
There are 2 of them.
There are, yeah. And they both have the M in front of them, so I was looking at the wrong M there. That pitch is strike, and he's behind 0-2. Boy, Gothrop's movement has just been very, very good, hasn't it?
It really hasn't. He started off every batter, I believe, with the first pitch fastball, and some guys have been able to foul it off, but some haven't caught up to it quite yet.
Both teams do have a hit, but have not been able to do much with it. And that pitch misses down and away to make it 1-2. So Max Muncy, 23 at bats. This is his 31st plate appearance. 9 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and 2 doubles. 2 of the 15 doubles on Knightstown, and that pitch floats high by Gothrop, 2-2.
Off speed just got away from Gothrop there, but he's still in control with the count at 2-2. He can still throw anything, and Muncy better be ready for anything.
Bounce. We'll see Daleville have batters 2, 3, and 4 due up in the top of the third inning. 2-2. Speaking of the top of the third, that's where we're going now. 3 strikeouts by Caden Gothrop in that second. 4 for the game for him, and through 2. It's a 0-0 game on 9 Star TV.
Ever wonder why the quarterback is often the best looking guy on a team? Think about it. Who gets the ball in the playground in the 4th or 5th grade? The handsome kid. The girls think he's cute, the boys think he's cool, and this process begins. There's even a term for it. It's called quarterback face.
You dropping off or picking up?
You know, the thing about dynasties, people say they don't like them, but they watch them. It's like the Powerball. People play it because they want to be it.
Welcome back to Knightstown High School. It's still a 0-0 game as we head to the top of the third. The Broncos will come up to bat. They have 2, 3, 4 heading to the plate, and Aaron Regan is still on the mound. Jarrett Lewis here alongside John Herrick. Kind of a sloppy first 2 innings, John. Both teams have committed some errors, whether it be in the field or on the base pass. We saw Daleville make 3 outs that were all base running mishaps in their last time at bat. Let's see if they can maybe fix up that right here in the top of the third.
Yeah, not only that, we saw the Daleville coach, Terry Turner, probably about as mad as you could ever see a coach be, because all 3 of his runners that were on base that got out all were retired because of poor base running in the second. So they're going to try to rebound from that in the third. And typically also sometimes when you don't do what the coach wants you to do, sometimes the coach makes you run down the baseline in between innings as punishment. And some of the Daleville players were doing that, and that might be a reason why. But get a good look here at Josh Price, who just, he's just got that look as a baseball player, Jared. He's got the physique, he's got the height, and he's definitely got the batting average at .444. He's already drawn a walk tonight.
Price did reach on a walk back in the first inning, and I remember back when I was playing my high school ball, I remember facing off against Price. Always played center field, always batted between first or third, and he definitely does have that look. You got to think he's going to play college ball somewhere.
And he is a senior, so I'm sure if he hasn't made his mind up already, he's in the process of making his mind up about where to go.
Price misses that second pitch from Regan. Now 1-1 the count. Real wide stance from Price, as you see there. And here comes the pitch from Regan. Just a bit high towards the letters.
Well, when you see the batter you're facing swing and a miss at one of your previous pitches, that as a pitcher, if you can get Price to do that, that'll do wonders for your confidence. But Price will not be an easy out at all. And again, that's just been part of the problem, Jarrett. You saw right there. Quite a few pitches from Regan tonight, bouncing in the dirt, low and outside, moving everywhere. Just his pitches have just been all over the place around the plate.
That's been the difference between the 2 pitchers, Regan and Gothrop. As you see, Price fouls that one off to the right side. But Gothrop has been able to get ahead in the count, have his guys down 0-2, 1-2, and be able to strike guys out. We believe he has three or four strikeouts so far. Regan, on the other hand, without a strikeout, and he's been able to fall behind in the count to these Daleville hitters. Another foul from Price off towards the dugout.
Again, just smart play there by Price. When you get ahead in the count 3-1, and even now 3-2, that Regan's going to be throwing stuff over the plate, and unless it's just way outside, you got to protect the plate and swing at it. And Price is a savvy baseball player. He knows that.
Full count pitch is low, so another walk drawn by Josh Price.
And again, right there, easy decision there by Price. He saw how low that ball was going, no doubt what he was going to do. And that's the
Now
fourth
batting,
walk
the
by
second
Aaron
baseman,
Regan. And
number 14, Peyton
he's
Smith.
also hit a batter. So again, a lot of games have been played by Knightstown here recently. They had games on April 22nd, 24th, 25th, you know, and 27th and 29th. So they're pretty deep in their rotation here, and you can tell Reagan's obviously not their top choice, but he's the guy you got to go with right now, and he's got to work through these tough situations. When
you're playing conference games also, you're going to see your number one or your number two in those big important games. This one is not one of those, so Regan is going to be the one to get the nod. Here's a fly out to right from Peyton Smith, and the catch is made by Anderson and right.
And even, you know, again, base running's been a problem in this game for Daleville, but even on a play like that, you know, Josh Price is standing so far away from first base. It's like, man,
the third baseman,
better get back. You don't want to get doubled off on first base. So this is a Daleville team that loves to kind of live dangerously, loves to run the base paths, and I think, you know, Knightstown, give them credit. They've come out ready for that in this game.
Waltermeyer looks to be showing bunt. Muncie from third was coming in, and a throw over now over to first. Regan's going to have to keep his eye on Price, who leads the team in stolen bases. Waltermeyer, the cleanup man, grounded out to second base, or may have been a little pop-up to Ethan Yoder at second. Price goes. The throw from Korber on line just gets through the shortstop and now goes into center field. Price on his way to third, and a wild errant throw that goes over the fence towards the third base dugout. So Price will trot on in for the first run of the game from the throwing error by, I believe it was Jose Olivo who came in after the ball. We'll see the replay here.
So the throw, well, the first error is going to be on Brock Corbett, the catcher, for the low throw, and then Olivo will have the second error in center field because that throw was just, I don't know where. I think he threw that ball to Fort Wayne. And so, you know, back-to-back error is a tough way to give up your first run of the game. But, you know, what's even more impressive, you mentioned this about the numbers with Josh Price here, Jarrett. You know, now he has 10 stolen bases because he got that 10th stolen base there. But he has not been thrown out. All of his stolen bases have been on successful attempts. He's a perfect now 10 of 10 on stolen base tries. So that just goes to show you how smart of a baseball player he is.
And how important it is to be that leadoff man and get on base and
catcher,
be able to have that
18,
speed
Ethan
to get
Pittsford.
to second base. And so the last batter, Waltermeyer, he flew out to the shortstop, Kraft, and now we see Ethan Pittsford come to the plate.
Oh, my.
Errant throw from Regan nearly hit Pittsford in the head, and it comes back here to the backstop.
He didn't move very much. I mean, for someone that almost got his head taken out, he stood there and just let it go over his head. As you see here, we got some activity in the bullpen for Knightstown.
Reagan has fallen behind now 2-0 to Pittsford.
Looks like Caleb Pyle is the guy that's getting the nod in the bullpen right now. He is a junior.
Pittsford probably didn't move from that pitch because he got hit in his first at bat. He was the one that got hit by Regan the last time. As you see a strike now from Regan. Counts 2-1 with 2 outs. Pittsford moves his bat around. Here's the pitch from Regan. It's in the zone, and it's foul just behind Corbett. So now it'll be 2-2. Wind has died down just a little bit. It was blowing a little bit harder earlier, but we can see the flag towards left center field, not moving as much. Here comes Regan's pitch, and he blows that ball by Pittsford, and that'll retire the side. So 1 run scored on the 2 errors by Knightstown. Josh Price comes in for the Broncos to score the first run of the game. And Daleville will have a 1-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Due up for Knightstown will be Matthew Kraft, Brock Corbett, and then finally back up to the top of the order with Jose Olivo in this third inning.
Matthew Kraft will be interesting to see what he can do. You got him and Corbett both batting over 270 in the bottom of the order. That's not always the case when you have guys like that are hitting pretty well in the bottom portion of the order. Then you can go back to the top of the order. That's a nice continuation when you can have that. And again, I love the dichotomy with the fans. You got some folks who are in windbreakers. You got other folks who are deciding to be a little bit more bundled up. And again, in Indiana, you just got to be ready for anything. But things are definitely about to change in May. It's going to get a lot warmer. I'm sure, Jared, you're probably going to be out at the track for Indy 500 season a little bit. I know I am.
I'm going to be at the race.
I'll be at the race. I'll be at the race. I'll be at Carb Day. I'll be at a lot of the other events for my full-time job with Emmis Communications. I'll be out there quite a bit. And it'll be, I'm telling you, folks, trust me, it will be getting a lot warmer and a lot warmer quick.
That's what I like to hear.
It's everybody kind of wonders, man, April, it just doesn't feel like it's April. It's too chilly, but once May rolls around, you don't have to give it much time. It'll get hot.
Leading off
I
for
promise
Knightstown,
you.
the shortstop.
And hopefully we'll have the best of weather
Kraft.
for that May 26th day, the Indy 500.
I'm sure we'll get good weather. I'm just hoping it's not like 98.
Yes.
I can live with 90 or 85, somewhere in there, but let's not get up near 100 degrees like it's been for a couple of these races.
All right, from IndyCar back to high school baseball. Bottom of the third inning. Kraft up to the plate. First pitch is a swing and a miss from Gothrop. Again, leading off that batter with a first pitch fastball.
Well, and again, Jared, I think Gothrop's, command, his control, his poise from the last inning has clearly carried over to this inning.
Ball to the shortstop, and making the play, throwing out Kraft.
Stecker.
Was Stecker. So a good way to start off the bottom of the third inning for Gothrop
Now batting
and
for
company.
Knightstown with one out, the catcher,
Always
number
nice
12,
to have that
Brock
play there
Corbett.
if you're a shortstop, because if the ball gets hit towards your left near second base, you can go over there and field it. You don't have as long of a throw to first base. You can, if it was hit further away from you, you'd have to make a much longer throw. So luckily for Stecker, that ball was hit in a more favorable place for him to field it.
Corbett steps in now. Gothrop's first pitch, another fastball. This one low, however, towards the feet of Corbett.
I think that one just got away from Gothrop a little bit. I don't think he anticipated that fastball getting away from him, but it did. It almost hit him in the foot.
Gothrop now winds and deals that one right down the middle, however, and Corbett whiffs at it for the first strike of the at-bat.
Again, that fastball just continues to be on point for Gothrop. Gothrop's been really solid in the command department this year. As that one ripped foul. He's only hit 2 batters in his appearances this year. This is his 5th appearance, so he's been getting a lot of innings. I mean, he's a little different than Aaron Regan. You can tell he's gotten a little more work, so I think he's a little more polished.
The 1-2, and Corbett goes down swinging. Another strikeout from Caden Gothrop.
So you've got 1 strikeout for him in the first, 3 more
With
in the
2 outs,
second,
the
and now
center
this
fielder,
one here in the
number
third.
11, Jose
5
Olivo.
strikeouts for Caden Gothrop. He has been on an absolute tear so far in this game. So, I'm telling you, obviously, if you're Daleville, you'd like to have a little more run support for him. But if he continues to deal like this, maybe 1 run is all he needs.
Starts off Olivo with off speed, however, and Olivo misses that first pitch strike. So now that he's gotten to the top of the order, and he's seen everybody once, or all the Knightstown batters have seen him once, they got to be thinking he's going to start him off with a first pitch fastball. Nope. Throws Olivo a curveball to start off the at-bat. And that second pitch, just high.
See, his off-speed stuff is just as nasty as his fastball because he can throw those at you when you least expect it, like you mentioned. And you know, even when he misses high, he's showing you, I'm not afraid to throw this pitch here and mix it up.
There's the 1-1 to Olivo now. That one's high again.
Well, that's a way to mix things up. I mean, he rocketed that ball in there.
It's a way to change the eye level of the batter.
Olivo, you know, got on base back in that first with a single, then stole second, and he was caught in that rundown, and that's kind of what started the whole, you know,
on-base fiasco
yeah,
between both teams.
It really was an odd thing because it felt like Olivo was going to get the momentum going for Knightstown, but then you just kind of felt the air taken out of him after he was caught stealing. It's just it can be very demoralizing as a baseball team when that happens to you.
Olivo got jammed on that last pitch. Now he's at 2-2. Here's Gothrop. And that one's low. Good eye by Olivo. He runs the count full.
But that's also a very good testament to a player's strength, Jarrett, because if you get jammed and you're still able to muscle it away and not strike out or able to make contact with the ball and maybe foul it off, it shows that you can at least get through it with your strength.
Olivo jams shot towards the second baseman, and Peyton Smith will easily make that play to end the third inning. So we've played 3 here at Knightstown High School. The score is 1-0. The visiting team of Daleville currently with the lead after the run in their last appearance from Josh Price. We will be back with the top of the 4th here on 9-Star TV.
This month,
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
comedy comes in 3s. No pranks here. It's the Fools of April on April Fools. We've got a marathon with one wild and crazy guy, Steve Martin, on April 13th. And finally,
you haven't heard of Cheech and Chong?
a true blunt of a stunt on 420.
A pitcher's duel through 3 innings. We're getting ready for the top of the 4th. Daleville with a 1-0 lead, being the visitors team here in Knightstown High School. You can see just across the way over by the football stadium on the track, there is a track meet going on between the 3 schools, I believe. And just behind us, we were having softball practice earlier, so quite an eventful time over here at Knightstown High School. But right now we're focusing on the baseball game between the Panthers and the Broncos.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you get to this time of year. I mean, you've got all these spring sports going on, and you've got all these
Leading off
teams
for Knightstown, the first
that
baseman,
are
number
trying to
7,
get track
Evan
meets
Etchison.
in, baseball games in, softball games in, and there's only a limited amount of time to do it. And you know, obviously, cow games, got to get those in too. You got to get the games in with the cows.
Ball gets through the backstop. The batter is Evan Etchison. He's leading off the 4th inning for the Broncos. But another example there, ball getting back to the backstop from Regan just we haven't seen that control from him early in the count. He's gone behind in the count too many times. This time, though, he has Etchison whiff on that strike.
Props to the 9-Star film crew. I've been on the 9-Star broadcast team for a year now. First time I've seen him get cows, get cow footage. Nicely done. Of course, we're in the prime area of the state for it.
Absolutely. Here's a shot over to right field. That ball will get down, and it'll get behind the right fielder, Anderson. Etchison is on his way to second. He'll probably stop there. Anderson's throw finally comes into the infield, and Etchison will reach second after the error by Anderson and Wright.
So here's how that will get scored. You've got to give Etchison the single because obviously he gets it down right
Now
here,
batting
but
the
then
right
an error
fielder, number
will
4,
be
Jimmy
charged
Bowen.
to Anderson, which is what allowed Etchison to take second base there. So a single and an error, and just a really rough defensive game here for Knightstown, Jarrett. 5 errors in the ball game, and it's going to be, honestly, when you look at that, they're fortunate to only be down a run.
I was just about to say that, only down a run with so many errors in this game. As try a slap bunt here from Jimmy Bowen, who's now in the box.
I got to say, that was pretty crafty. I mean, the whole time he's acting like he's going to swing it, and then at the last second, I'm going to slide my bat over and try to lay a bunt down, and he almost pulled it off. I wonder if he'll be brave enough to try it again, especially with one of his teammates on second base right now.
And certainly he does. He shows bunt. That pitch, however, was low from Regan. So now the count will even up 1-1.
Going to be interesting to see how Daleville plays this from a defensive standpoint, given the base running issues in this game that they have had. And they look like they're going to be a lot more cautious here. You know, Etchison's had a lead at second, but not a very big lead. And I would think he'll stay pretty close to the bag given what's happened to them earlier. And, yeah, there's the throw over. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay pretty close to second. And I think Coach Terry Turner got his message across earlier when we saw him be very unhappy with his team with the way they had those miscues.
Coach Turner might just leave the field if he sees another base running mishap from his Broncos. You know he ripped into him before this inning. Another showed bunt from Bowen.
I don't think Coach Turner would do this, Jarrett, but I have seen this happen. I've talked to coaches who have done this. If they are that upset with either A, how their team is playing, or B, how the game is being umpired, they'll just try to get tossed. And I have seen some pretty comedic things happen with baseball coaches when they're so fed up that they just want to get out. I saw a guy when I was calling games in Oklahoma take his helmet off and throw it into the second row of seats because I said, why'd you do that? He's like, I had had enough. We had played bad in the tournament. We weren't getting some calls. I just wanted to end it.
At that point, you don't really care anymore.
The left fielder, number 19.
I was like, wow, you got to be the first baseball coach I've ever seen get to that level of anger that you just want to end it all.
Meanwhile, Aiden Wilson now steps in the box, and he shows bunt right in front of the plate. Easy throw over to third now for Corbett, and they get the lead runner. Bad small ball there from the Broncos. Wilson bunt wasn't good enough to get away from Corbett.
Ah, yes, the ever often used
the pitcher, number 17,
fielder's choice. That's not one you see very often, but that was definitely, right idea, but just not the execution they wanted there clearly.
Coach Hardesty will now make his way onto the mound. Time for a talk with Mr. Regan.
Well, I don't think if you're him, if you're Coach Hardesty here, you don't really want to have to go with a new pitcher right now. You'd like your starter here to at least go 4. Now, the good news is if you're Knightstown, you do have a few days. After tonight, your next game is not until May 3rd, which, granted is obviously a Friday, and this is a Tuesday, so that's the good news. But the bad news is you really don't want to have to dip too much into your bullpen with how many games you've played, and they've got some important conference games coming up too.
And that next game that you mentioned, May 3rd, happens to be a conference game with Hagerstown. So the first pitch to Gothrop as the ball goes over Regan's head. Thankfully, the second baseman was ready for that one.
Yeah, it's not what you want to have happen.
But also with the conversation that Coach Hardesty was probably having with Regan was, you're at the bottom of the lineup. Let's try and get a ground ball, a double play, get out of this inning. That way we don't have to see Stecker at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, Stecker, and you definitely not only do you not want to see him, but you don't want to see the man after him either in Josh Price, who is batting .444 and has already drawn 2 walks and scored the lone run of this game for Daleville.
1-1. Time is called, however, at the plate.
By the catcher. Normally it was Brock Corbett who asked for it. Normally it's the batter. But the umpire pointed at Brock Corbett.
Yeah, I got to think if Corbett and Regan hopefully are on the same page, how they're going to attack Gothrop here. But it looks like they are, and here's the deal from Regan. The ball's on the ground. Will it stay fair? They're going to call it fair.
Yeah.
And
they
get the out at first.
Yeah, he picked it up. So, they had no choice but to say it was fair. So 1-3 on the putout as Gothrop is retired. But he was, Regan had his mind made up. He's like, hey, we got an easy out at first base. Let's get the easy out. I like that play.
With 2
That's
outs.
a gutsy play.
The shortstop,
he's like,
number
look,
23, Max
I want to
Stecker.
get this guy out, and let's see if we can take care of Stecker and get out of this without giving up a run.
Stecker, the first batter of the game, grounded out to the first baseman and also drew a walk back in the second. Here he is now in the 4th inning, and he drives this one to center field. Olivo comes up on it and will make the play to retire the side. So Daleville gets some runners on, but can't do anything with them, but move them over. That last out goes to Olivo and center. And no damage caused by Daleville. It's still a 1-0 lead, despite the fact that Knightstown has committed at least 4 errors. That's
Yeah.
what the scoreboard said, but we might have 5 written here.
I think I've got 5, but, hey, that's all right.
4 or 5 doesn't really make a difference at this point. Our next broadcast, we will have the Dragons of New Palestine along with Pendleton Heights. They will play that game tomorrow. However, the broadcast will be on Thursday. I should say they will play that game on Wednesday because this will air on Wednesday as well. So the Dragons will be at Pendleton. A huge softball matchup there. Both teams are very well up the ranks in their class. New Palestine, of course, is been looked at as a national threat. They are well up there, a totally well put together team.
They're one of those teams in softball that is, I would think considered to be the top softball team in their class, but also when you're good enough to be getting national looks by Max Preps and other high school affiliated sites that are looking at softball teams across the country, you know how special of a season you're having there for sure. But what a job there by Knightstown to get out of that inning in a very difficult spot. And this is one thing that could come back to bite Daleville, Jarrett. I mean, they're up 1-0, but let's be real. They've also stranded 6 men on base. That is not a very good thing to have happen because you're getting guys on, but you're not getting them home. Knightstown's having the opposite problem. They've left 2 men on base, but they haven't had anybody get on base since the first inning. Remember, they had 2 men aboard,
leading off for Knightstown,
and they haven't had a chance to get a guy on these last 2 innings. So that's what they're trying to change that tide around.
And you would think with the number of errors that Knightstown has, the score would be much different. But it was Daleville who couldn't capitalize on those errors, making some mishaps by themselves. Of course, we mentioned many times when they were on the base pass, and it's just a 1-0 lead now. Bottom of the 4th, Jack Fort will lead things off with the Panthers. Gothrop is still dealing, and his first pitch fastball is high and away for ball 1.
So far, these lefty-lefty matchups have gone Gothrop's way. So let's see if Knightstown can change that. I was actually watching the movie Moneyball on HBO recently, and
great movie.
For those who haven't seen it, there's a scene in it with Brad Pitt and Philip Seymour Hoffman, coach GM there, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's character plays the Oakland Athletics coach, and he was like, it's a lefty-lefty thing, and Brad Pitt plays Billy Bean, and Billy Bean says, I don't care about lefty-lefty, and he goes, I do. And in that particular instance, I'm kind of with the coach there. Because I think in certain situations, lefty-lefty is very important, especially with the way the ball is viewed by the batter coming off, and it can be an advantage for the pitcher. But get an experienced left-handed hitter, and it can be an advantage for them. So it's lefty-lefty is always an interesting baseball strategy and matchup to see how it's going to pan out.
And every baseball game you watch at the Major League Baseball level, which is with the Athletics, in this instance, Billy Bean, and of course the manager for the A's, you're going to see that happen late in the innings where managers will bring in the lefty to face the lefty at bat, even if it's just for one batter. They harp on those lefty-lefty, righty matchups a whole lot in major leagues. As you see, Fort whiffs on that pitch, and that is another strikeout for Caden Gothrop.
With 1 out, the pitcher, number 5, Aaron Reagan.
And it's sort of bearing out my point here. I mean, you're seeing the lefty-lefty battle, and who's it favoring? It's favoring Gothrop right now. He knows, you can tell he knows where the angles are. He knows where the strike zone is in relation to a left-handed batter as opposed to a right-handed batter. So and I also think it makes it a little bit easier. One thing I've heard coaches tell me is when you're a left-handed pitcher, it's harder for a left-handed batter to crowd the plate against you because you know how to work it into smaller spaces. That's just what I've heard. I've heard it work the other way too, where sometimes you back away and you don't have as much room. So there's all sorts of different ways to view it. And right now in this matchup, though, it's definitely favoring Daleville.
Gothrop has Regan now at 1-1. He started him off with some off speed. Here's the 1-1. It's a fastball check swing fouled towards the right side, and now Regan finds himself down 1-2.
Yeah, I've seen that happen where it ends up totally opposite. He check swung it, but it ends up going foul. I've seen that go the opposite way where sometimes you get a base hit out of it accidentally, but it would almost happen that way.
Nice block there by the catcher for Daleville. Now it's 2-2 with Regan and Gothrop now the matchup. Ethan Pittsburgh is behind the plate. Not Pittsburgh, it is Pittsford. Here's the 2-2. Another one down low, and it'll go for a ball. Now the count runs full.
Sometimes that umpire has a little bit of a hesitation where you think, okay, he's going to call a strike there, but then he takes long enough that you're like, okay, he's going with the ball.
And those pitches might be the hardest ones to call,
right.
The ones that are just around the knee where it's iffy if you call it a ball or strike. This one's straight up. Let's see if Pittsburgh has any room. He does, but he can't make the play.
Yeah, well, in his defense, though, people are going to say, well, yeah, how did he drop that? Well, you're right by a wall. I mean, I know you're right by a wall. You got a net right on you. That's a very, very hard play to make, and I credit his effort for getting his mask off and running back there because he was almost able to make a really, really impressive play here. It's just, yeah, that is so difficult to do when you're right near the net, and you
can't tell if that ball's going to hit the net at all. It's coming straight down, and here's a ball put in play now by Regan to the shortstop, and it's right under his glove.
Yeah.
So an E6 will go to Stecker.
It's going to have to go down as an error on Stecker. I mean, I think that one of those things where you're overplaying it, you're over-anticipating it a little. You think you're going to get it, and you just misplay it. And that's one of those things that happen right there. But if you're Knightstown, you only have one hit in this game. You've struggled to get guys on the last 2 innings. That's the first time that Knightstown has had a runner on base since the first inning. So take it any way you can get it.
Gothrop throws over. That'll keep Regan in check over there. Ben Newby has come to the plate now. Something I want to mention following that error by Daleville, that is the 39th error on the season through 14 games.
It's quite a bit.
Which means they're averaging
almost 3 a game.
Almost 3 a game. That's at least 2.7 a game. So something to keep an eye on there is the errors. On the other side, Knightstown, only 21 errors committed before this game. Of course, we've had at least 4 from the Panthers.
Also keep an eye on Reagan at first base. He does have 9 stolen bases, so he's definitely a factor on the base paths. And in a one-run game where your offense has struggled to get guys on and get runs across, you might have to take some chances on the base pass and try to steal a base or two. The thing that's going to be tough for you, though, is that Knightstown knows that.
Gothrop again has his man down 0-2. Newby fouls that one off to Coach Hardesty at the third baseline.
Yeah, Newby hit it hard in the first inning. It was a sharply hit ball, but unfortunately for him, right to the second baseman who threw him out. But Newby will try to reverse course this time.
Another throw over from Gothrop. Trying to keep Regan in check.
Yeah, you're not going to be as bold necessarily to steal on a left-handed pitcher because the left-handed pitcher is looking right at you. But that's typically how it goes. But some guys are bold and they try it anyway.
A good baseball player will notice how Gothrop is handling himself with each pitch. So whenever he comes over, you're going to want to watch his lead foot as he strikes out Newby. Another one added to the Gothrop total. But going back to my point, you want to watch Gothrop, how he comes to the plate and also how he goes over to first. When he's came to the plate, he has a really quick sidestep. He's coming to the coming to the plate really fast, And then when he ends up throwing over to first, he has that big leg kick, which makes you freeze right there in case he throws over.
By the way, 7 strikeouts.
A beautiful throw and got him by a mile.
Well, I mentioned that Regan was going to probably try to steal. He did, and it didn't work out.
So Aaron Regan is caught stealing a beautiful throw from the catcher Pittsburgh, got him by a mile. And just as we mentioned, the high leg kick from Gothrop, he gives it to him, and that's when Regan went. Unfortunately, Gothrop went to the plate and a caught stealing. We have played 4, We are heading to the top of the 5th. Daleville will be up to bat when we come back on 9 Star TV.
The Red Sox are 1 out away. And the Dodgers are down to their final strike. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. And the best team in baseball wins it all.
A low-scoring game. It's only 1-0. John, you got it this time. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're fine. We've been trading off a little bit tonight. Daleville with the Knightstown leading Knightstown 1-0 here as we go to the top of the 5th inning. It's been a game where, we haven't had it impacted by weather. There hasn't been any rain, but boy, both teams have struggled with the baseball tonight. 6 combined errors. But
leading off for
Daleville
the
with
center
the upper
fielder,
hand,
number
leading
3,
1-0.
Josh Price.
One thing that has hurt them, though, 6 runners left on base through 4 innings, and here we go in the 5th. 1-0, they have the lead, and the man that starts off the inning for Daleville, one of their biggest weapons, Josh Price, with a batting average of .444, has walked twice. He has stolen a base and scored the lone run of the game as Aaron Regan rifles ball 1 into him. Now, there has been activity in the Knightstown bullpen throughout this evening, and Caleb Pyle was the last man up there, but have not seen him lately. And again, they stick with Regan out there being at just a 1-0 score.
I tell you what, John, now with only 3 innings left to play, Knightstown, even though with the great number of errors they've had in this game so far, they have to be pretty pleased with how this game is shaping out right now. Only down 1-0. They've used Reagan this whole entire game, who's not their 1 or their 2. They've held Daleville to only 2 hits. It's just the errors that have killed them, but still, only down 1-0. They have to be happy with how this game is shaped out right now.
And again, they were clearly the underdog coming into this game, a record of 6-7. Daleville was 10-4. They got trounced by Tri last night, 19-0. So, they're coming in. They don't have necessarily a ton of confidence, and for them to be right in the mix, you got to feel really good about yourself there. As Price skies this one into foul territory, and he runs out of room, does Jack Fort. So, applaud the effort of those players for Knightstown running over there trying to make the grab. And again, you just sort of like you hear in other sports where the coaches will tell you play to the whistle. In baseball, you got to play until that ball is no longer in play. You got to go after it because you never know where it could land.
And of course, with the wind we've had here around here, you don't know if it's going to come back into play or if it's going to just keep on going. But in this instance, Fort just ran out of room.
Now the wind has kind of been blustering back and forth, blowing in most of the time, and there is ball 4 issued to Josh Price. So what an evening for him. 3 plate appearances.
Now batting the second baseman, number 14,
3
Peyton
walks
Smith.
for Josh Price. And that brings up Peyton Smith. Now, Smith has one of the 2 Daleville hits. He has a single. The other one belongs to Evan Etchison. And Caden Gothrop, I would say, is probably one of the best stories of the game so far for Daleville. 7 strikeouts on the mound has really kept Knightstown at bay. Smith flew out to right back in the 3rd inning.
And also for Gothrop, only 1 hit, and that was the first batter of the game. That was Jose Olivo. Ever since then, it's been a retire after retire, a strikeout or a ground out, getting outs either way. Gothrop has really been the star of the game so far.
And these were also 2 teams that came in scoring quite a few runs. Knightstown scoring 8 a game, Daleville scoring 10 on average. But there you see it on the scoreboard, just 1 run combined between the 2 as Smith lifts this one out of play. Now, Smith has had a very good year. Peyton Smith, a batting average of .513. And again, a lot of these guys for Daleville, they just have the look of a baseball player.
And a kid that also pitches but plays every game. He's going to be in the lineup one way or another, whether it's pitching or hitting. And that .513, you're talking about he's getting a hit every other at-bat. So quite the season. I remember Smith from last year just looks exactly like he does now, a total baseball player look, and Price goes for second, and he'll get there easily.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the ball kind of one-hopped its way in there, and Price has been terrific on the base paths all season for Daleville. He knows when the time is right. That pitch was low. Maybe if that pitch was a little bit higher, it might have been a little bit easier to get Price, but Price just does not take any unnecessary chances. So now he is 11 for 11 when you factor in stolen bases with the stolen base attempts.
And a great team percentage stolen base-wise for this entire Daleville team.
3-1. Sent over towards short. Matthew Kraft bobbles it, throws, won't get him. That's tough because it wasn't an easy play. It was hit right over there, and I'm going to take a look on a replay here.
One of those where he's moving towards his right, so he has a longer throw, and the bobble is just what kills him. Without that, you're going to get him, and unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's going to end up being an error there on Kraft. That still is a play that I think he could have made.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 12, Jared Waltermeyer.
Has been able to get on base a lot tonight as a team because of the errors committed by Knightstown. That is their that's their sixth. I just at least one error by them in each of the last 4 innings. So now if you're Daleville, still nobody out here, and you've got runners on the corners. So even if Jared Waltermeyer grounds into a double play, you would still probably be able to score the run from third. And again, activity there in the bullpen for Knightstown resumes. And let's see if it's a different man than before.
This time it's Ben Brown.
Ben Brown, okay.
So we could see Brown, we could see Pyle maybe this inning, or at least you might be thinking next inning, because Regan right now not really in control. That first pitch ball to Waltermeyer, but his defense also at the same time hasn't been able to help him.
It sounded like it bounced in the dirt when it rolled to home plate. 2 balls, no strikes, the count.
But this is one of those situations now for Knightstown where you don't want to get this game out of hand, but you're looking at a tough spot here with runners at first and third, one of those interesting situations here, and no outs. And now Regan has fallen behind 3-0 to Waltermeyer.
Well, Waltermeyer has had 2 of the quickest at-bats today. He grounded out to second back in the first and then flew out quickly to center back in the third, and both of those at-bats didn't last very long. Not the case on this one. He does take a strike there to make it 3-1, so he was being patient the whole way. This has been his longest at-bat by far of this contest. The 3-1 fouled it off. That might have been ball 4 had he not swung at it, but again, it was near the plate. You kind of had to figure that it was going to be there. Might as well just take a shot at it and protect the plate, which he did, and he did just barely get a piece of it.
Now a full count here. We'll see if Peyton Smith decides to run. He doesn't, even with 0 outs, as Waltermeyer fouls that one back also.
Well, you might see a lot of guys decide to do that because, especially if the count's full and a guy gets a hit out of it and you have a guy from first get a running start, he may end up on third base or potentially score depending on how the ball is hit and where it lands.
But also thinking back to earlier in the game when all the bad base running by the Broncos occurred, Terry Turner probably doesn't want to take any chance with Peyton Smith at first.
Probably not. There's ball 4 issued. So that has been one of the downfalls of Aaron Regan tonight. 2 walks in this inning, 1 walk in the 4th, another one in the 3rd.
Now batting, so the catcher, number 18,
7
Ethan Pittsburgh.
walks. So you have Caden Gothard, who have 7 strikeouts for Daleville, and for Aaron Regan, 7 walks. I think this might be all
Pinch
she
runner
wrote.
for Daleville, number 00, J.T. Nelson.
They're going to send out another runner to first base. That is J.T. Nelson, who is pinch running for Jared Waltermeyer. So one of the assistant coaches out there for Knightstown Bases loaded. Bases were loaded for Daleville in the first inning, and they left them loaded, if you remember. Trying to have a different result this time with Ethan Pittsford coming up. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He was hit by a pitch. He makes contact, drives it into right center. Diving attempt made, caught by Olivo, and that will send the tag up in as Josh Price scores from third, but nice job by Olivo to get the ball back in play. It will be an RBI sac fly, though, for Ethan Pittsford. That scores Josh Price to make it 2-0.
Well, first, great job of Pittsford being ready for this first pitch fastball, which he drills into right center field. Olivo, being the great three-sport athlete that he is, you see him get a good jump on it.
The first baseman, number 7,
going
Evan
full
Etchison.
out, dives for that ball. Beautiful Sports Center top 10 play there. And then a great arm strength to get that ball to the home plate. Unfortunately, it was just offline and couldn't get Price out on the tag up. But
the good news is he probably wasn't going to get Price out anyway, but the good news about the throw is the throw was not wild enough that it was going to let the next guy behind him score. So,
and it wasn't one of those throws he made earlier that went all the way up to Fort Wayne.
That was a long throw.
But great effort there by Olivo on that play.
Of course, if you're Daleville, you've had a lot of opportunities with guys on base and haven't been able to get them in, and you'll just take them any way that you can get them. Of course, people also forget road games in baseball, not easy. And it's not like, as we talked in the pregame, Jared, it's not like these two teams are really extremely close to one another. The 1-1, that pitch is driven into shallow left. Ben Newby can't get there, and that will score Peyton Smith from third to make it 3-0 Daleville. I think, that ball was hit just shallow enough, and it didn't look like it might go that way, but it worked out well.
The right fielder, number 4, Jimmy
Evan
Bowen.
Etchison.
Right in between that spot where the left fielder and the shortstop can't get to it. And another run scores for Daleville.
Brings up Jimmy Bowen. Bowen is 0 for 1. He's reached on an error, also has walked, and has been caught stealing once. Pitch comes inside from Aaron Regan. So here's how this inning started. You had a walk against Price, then an error allowed Peyton Smith to get on. Stolen base by Price, a walk by Walter Meyer, then a sacrifice fly by Pittsford, and then an RBI single by Evan Etchison that has driven home the 2 runs in this inning to make it 3-0 advantage Daleville.
And you got to think at some point Coach Hardesty might think about going to the pen, because again, Regan is failing to get ahead against his hitters. Now he's down 2-0. Here's a ball put in play.
Oh, nice play there as Fork steps on first base and doesn't really have any other play there, so allows both runners to go to the next bases. Walter Meyer to third, Etchison to second.
With 2 outs, the left fielder, number 19, Aiden Wilson.
Now, Wilson has had a bit of an odd night. He's gotten on base both times, but he's reached on an error, and he has grounded into a fielder's choice. So he's technically 0 for 2. 3 runs on 3 hits with an error for Daleville. No runs, 1 hit, 6 errors for Knightstown. Pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes from Aaron Regan.
Aaron Regan's going to have to buckle down and go after Wilson here. Don't want any more damage done by the Broncos. Don't want to see a 5-0 lead come from a 3-0 lead.
Pitch is high. Now for Knightstown, they are going to have batters 5, 6, and 7 up in the 5th. Now that was the order they had up in the 2nd inning, if you recall, but that was not an inning that went well. Caden Gothrop got all 3 of those guys in that inning to strike out. And a strike rifled in there by Regan. So Regan came into this game with an ERA of 7 and had 5 walks total, but has now issued well more than that just in this game alone. 7 in this contest, putting him at 12 on the year as that one slapped foul by Aiden Wilson, who came into this game batting .321 and is behind in the count now 1-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and the score 3-0 Daleville.
And the 3 runs scored by Daleville, I believe only one of them might be earned towards Regan because of the errors that Knightstown had, but he did have a walk earlier in this inning, which I believe did score at one point.
Yep.
2-2 now. Regan got to find something here. Got to get an out.
This might be just where you go back to your fastball.
And he did.
And he did. And got the strikeout to end the inning on Wilson. But, you know, we go to the bottom of the 5th now with some damage done. Here's the total damage there for Daleville in the top of the 5th. 2 runs scored with 1 hit. There was 1 error and 2 men left aboard there for the Daleville Broncos, but they do pad the lead for themselves, and they lead 3-0. So this is where the portion of the order struggled earlier tonight. Did Knightstown, batters 5, 6, and 7, Ethan Yoder, Brennan Anderson, and Max Muncy. Those are the guys that have had some problems. So at least they struggled against Gothrop back in the 2nd. We'll see how it does this time. There has not been any activity in the bullpen for Daleville, and understandably so, considering how well Gothrop has pitched tonight. Here is what Daleville has next on their agenda. We mentioned Knightstown's earlier. As the looks like that pitcher for Knightstown warming up is Ben Newby. Interesting. So that's the 3rd different guy we've seen warm up in there. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to go with over these next couple of innings. 3 straight wins coming in for Daleville. Wins over Randolph Southern, Frankton, and Connorsville. And quite honestly, none of the games were close over those last 3. Randolph Southern won 11-1, Frankton 13-2. Connorsville was a little more interesting. It was 12-8. And after this game, no rest for the weary as Daleville gets back to action tomorrow playing Wapahani. Then they have a doubleheader on Saturday against Eastern
Leading off for Knightstown, the 2nd baseman, number 6,
then they'll play
Ethan
Fishers
Yoder.
on May 6th, and then Union County on the 7th. And then they still have a jam-packed rest of the season to go.
And both of those upcoming matchups, the one tomorrow with Wapahani, a big conference game, and then the doubleheader with Eastern Hancock, also a conference game. So got to think Daleville will come with their best pitchers for both of those games. And you got to be happy with what you're seeing from Gothrop if he's not your best pitcher.
Yeah. And Yoder gets a bunt down. It's a beauty. Waltermeyer charges and gets him. Nicely done by Jared Waltermeyer, flying up the 3rd base side, picking it up and throwing out Yoder. And he anticipated it right there. You kind of saw it coming.
With 1 out, the right fielder, number 14, Brendan Anderson.
The right thing. He's able to field it cleanly, and he got him. Excellent shot of that on the replay by our fine camera crew. Brendan Anderson next, and again, struck out looking back in the 2nd inning.
You say 2nd inning, now it's the 5th inning. That means Gothrop has retired every single batter ever since Anderson.
Yeah, well, almost. I guess you could say Aaron Regan did get on by way of an error, so that wasn't necessarily the fault of Gothrop, but that just goes to show you how efficient he has been. And 7 strikeouts tonight, only 1 walk. So incredibly efficient numbers for Caden Gothrop. And here we are, another lefty battle. And that one he got Anderson to chase and miss.
Anderson was fooled big time
Yeah.
on that pitch. Couldn't decide if he wanted to swing or not. Another 0-2 count for Gothrop.
That one just a tad off the corner of the plate. Looked like he might pull it up, but couldn't quite get there. Well, if you're looking at the game on TV and seeing the sky, don't be fooled. The weather has avoided us. Rain has stayed away. And that one popped up. That should be another easy play for Walter Meyer. Not that the last one was easy, but this one was a lot easier this time. He was able to just drift back and have an easy
with 2
pop
outs,
out.
the
But
third
again,
baseman, number 10, Max Muncy.
Nice job by Gothrop to jam him.
And I think that may have been the first time we've seen a Knightstown batter be able to make contact with the breaking ball from Gothrop. And Anderson just got jammed on it, hit it easy pop up to the third baseman. But Gothrop's stuff has definitely been working tonight, considering how many balls have been put in play by Knightstown.
Max Muncy will try to keep the bottom of the 5th going here for Knightstown. 2-1 record for Gothrop, trying to get to 3-1. His team leading 3-0 right now. The pitch. Foul tipped it. And very quickly, Max Muncy is down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes.
Feel like we've said that before.
Yep.
The Knightstown batter being down 0-2. But now it being the 3rd time that Knightstown has seen Gothrop, you know what his stuff looks like. You just don't know what's going to come. And right there, a wild pitch. But still, you're down 1-2. You got to be thinking breaking ball, but also at the same time being ready for a fastball. That's how you have to attack your at-bat, being ready for both pitches.
Just 1 hit in this game. It was to Jose Olivo for Knightstown. The pitch. Well, there's the breaking ball that.
But it
Gothrop
didn't break.
Yeah, that didn't break, yeah. Or I guess maybe you could say it did. It just broke way higher than he wanted it to. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And that's a sharply hit ball. But Stecker able to gather it in and then throw it way over the head of Evan Etchison.
Seems like
I think that's probably going to be a single. I don't know. That's probably a tough play. Well, he did bobble it. Yeah.
And even the throw to add on to it.
Yeah.
But that's now the 2nd error we've seen from Stecker at shortstop, I believe.
Number 20, Matthew Kraft.
That shortstop position tonight hasn't been too friendly to either side.
I do wonder a little bit about if there's been moisture on the field. I don't know. It doesn't appear so, but we have seen some guys struggle out there trying to gather the ball into their glove and throw a guy out. Now, if this runner, Muncy, comes home to score, it'll be an unearned run against Caden Gothrop, because had that error not happened, it would have been the end of the inning. And there's a throw to first base by Pittsford. Had his eye closely on Muncy, and the count is 0-2.
And luckily for Stecker and Daleville, that ball that he threw didn't go over the fence, because now we'd see Muncy on second. Luckily, I believe it hit a portion of the dugout where Knightstown is over there and stayed in play. So now you're just, with 2 outs, you're only dealing with the runner at first, but it doesn't matter because Gothrop gets another K.
Boy, he has been, when he's needed to come up with a big strikeout, he has gotten it. No runs, no hits, 1 error, a man left on. We have played 5 complete from Knightstown, and Daleville has the lead, 3-0 on 9 Star TV.
Carnegie's A Place to Eat is the place for exceptional dining in Greenfield. Enjoy our hand-cut steaks, fresh seafood, herbs and vegetables straight from our gardens, prepared with a northern Italian flair. Chef Ian and his staff welcome you as our guests to enjoy fine wines, dinners, and ambiance. Carnegie's is the place for your special event with a private room that seats 100. Perfect for your next party, business meeting, or wedding reception. We are located in the historic Carnegie Library in downtown Greenfield. We'll see you at Carnegie.
Looks like we have a new pitcher for Knightstown.
Now pitching for Knightstown, number 44, Ben Newby.
Ben Newby, which means...
Now playing left field, number 5, Aaron Reagan.
And as you just heard from the excellent public address announcer, Aaron Reagan has moved to left field. So
just a simple swap between the two.
Yeah, doesn't always work like that where you just have guys trade positions. So Ben Newby comes in from left field to pitch, and Aaron Reagan goes out to left field to play defensively for Knightstown. So let's get the numbers here on the new Knightstown pitcher, that being Ben Newby. So Ben Newby's been a busy man today. Ben Newby, an 8.4 ERA. This is his 4th appearance on the season. Newby has 5 strikeouts, 6 walks. He has given up 5 runs, 4 of which have been earned. But here's the thing. He has only pitched 3 1/3 innings coming into this game. And we are in the top of the 6th inning, and Daleville leading 3-0.
The pitcher, number 17, Caden Gothrop.
And Caden Gothrop will begin this top of the 6th inning. So batters 9-1 and 2 up here for Daleville. So Reagan in line to take either the loss or the no decision should Knightstown come back. There is a strike to Gothrop. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the pitcher back in the 4th, but he walked and then advanced to second on a wild pitch and made it to third, but then he was left on there. And that pitch got on and missed. Very quickly behind here is Gothrop, 0-2. So 7 of the 9 members of the batting order for Daleville came up in that top of the 5th inning as they lead 3-0, trying to get another victory. And that 0-2 just off the corner, barely missing, 1-2. So 3 straight wins here for Daleville, trying to make it 4 before their game against Wapahani. They have some guys warming up in the bullpen, as you see right there. Got on and missed is Northrop. So Caden Northrop strikes out.
And this would be a nice win to get to extend that win streak for Daleville up to 4 games. Wapahani's usually a really tough baseball school. Not sure how they're doing this year, but I can't imagine they would be anything less than what they have been in previous years. So it'd be nice for Daleville to continue this win streak going into Daleville. Wapahani.
And Max Stecker didn't waste any time going after that one. He smacks that one into center, and he flies out there for the 2nd time
with 2
tonight.
outs. The center fielder, number 3,
with
Josh Price.
Josh Price. He has been a problem for Knightstown all night. He has gotten on base safely all 3 times, all 3 of them being by way of a walk. So he has stolen 2 bases and has scored 2 of Daleville's 3 runs. And a strike there from Newby.
I wouldn't imagine Newby with the fresh arm would allow Price to walk for a 4th time in this game. And now he has him down 0-2, just like he did with Caden Gothrop earlier.
Price, by the way, now has scored 20 runs on the year, so that puts him in the team lead in that category. The 0-2, a bouncer to home plate, 1-2. That ball high hopped its way over Brock Corbett's head. Knightstown will send up batters 9-1 and 2 in the bottom of the 6th as time is running out on them in this game, a 7-inning affair. The 1-2 got him to chase it and miss it, and that is the end of what was a very fast top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on for Daleville, but 2 strikeouts for Ben Newby.
Yeah, Newby looked very, very impressive in that half inning. Looks like he had Price guessing on that last at bat. Blew it right by him with the fastball. That's something you really want to see if you're the Panthers. You're confident in your pitcher on the mound, and now you're hoping that you can make something happen against Gothrop, which you haven't been able to do, only mustering 1 hit. But you got 6 outs to deal with. You got to make the most of them. Down 3-0 on your home field.
So here are the final numbers on Aaron Regan. He goes 5 innings. He gives up 2 hits. He gives up 3 hits. 3 hits, 3 runs. Only 1 of those runs, though, was earned. He did have 7 walks and 2 strikeouts. He also hit 1 batter. He did have also 1 wild pitch. So Caden Gothrop continues to work out there on the mound for him, for Daleville. Want to see also, there were a couple of the guys that were warming up in that bullpen for Daleville. One of them was Peyton Smith. Another was Jared Waltermeyer. So probably kind of the same sort of deal here, Jared. If Gothrop wants to come, if Gothrop is taken out of the game, very real possibility that one of those other guys who's already playing defense is going to come in to take his spot.
But I think it may be one of these situations where it's up to Gothrop if he's going to want to stay in for the rest of the game or not. If he's in a groove, which he definitely is, then he's going to want to stay in the game and finish it out.
Oh, yeah.
Unless his arm is hurting him, or they want to, if his pitch count is at a certain number to where they can try and save him for an upcoming game, then they're going to do that. But as of right now, it looks like Gothrop is well on his way to trying and finishing this game.
Well, and also, this has not been one of those games where the weather has just been sort of bearing down on you. That's been kind of the main goal. It's not always easy to play in colder weather, but man, it's been it's not always easy to play in very warm weather either. But this has been, I think, temperature-wise, about as good of a game as you could hope for. 65 degrees. And it's been hovering right around there in the low 70s, as you see there with Brock Corbett. He tried to lay down a bunt earlier and couldn't get it. He's behind 0-1. And now 0-2. I don't know if you heard that, but as soon as he got done swinging at that, there was somebody somebody watching the game saying, "Don't swing at that, Brock."
And especially for Brock, not being a taller of the Knightstown players, he's quite short. Shouldn't be swinging at something up there, but he does yet again and strikes out swinging, giving another K
with one out
to Mr. Gothrop.
Yeah, and also
number
that's
11,
the second time that Gothrop has struck him out.
But Gothrop not afraid to go back up high, especially 0-2, because pitchers tend to just maybe throw something away or try and like throw a pitch up high just to see if the batter will chase, being up 0-2 like that, or throwing a ball way outside to see if they'll chase at it. And right there, Corbett did just that.
Yeah.
So good job on Gothrop's part, and also his catcher being on the same page, trying to see if Corbett will chase after something. And again, it's going back to Gothrop being able to get up 0-2, being able to blow pitches by the hitters.
Fanned that one. Jose Olivo, 1-for-2 with a single. He is the only player in this game for Knightstown to get a hit.
And that was the very first at-bat of the game.
The 1-1 just misses the edge, 2-1.
Terry Turner calling the pitches for his Daleville pitcher, giving it
How often
to
does
his
that
catcher.
happen? Does the coach usually do it from the dugout, or does the catcher do it? How does?
It definitely depends. For me, and being during my time at Eastern Hancock being a catcher, the coach gave it up to us. He allowed us to be able to call the pitches, and of course, if we were making mistakes, he would let us know once we got to the dugout. But it was also about having a strong connection, a strong relationship with your pitcher, being that catcher, because you want to know what your pitcher likes to throw, when he likes to throw it. You know, if he wants to start off this guy with off speed, or if he wants to start off this guy with fastball, if he likes working righties inside or outside. So it's also about having that relationship and being able to know what your pitcher wants, being able to call those pitches.
And back-to-back strikeouts now for Caden Gothrop, and 10 strikeouts
the
for
first
him
baseman,
in
number
this
42,
game.
Jack Fort.
It's interesting. He came into this game with 18 strikeouts on the year. Now he's got 10.
In 4 appearances.
In 4 appearances. So 10 more tonight, giving him 28 on the year. And that also a fan there by Jack Fort. Fort is 0-for-2, and guess what? He has struck out both times. So there just must be something about Gothrop's pitch when it goes a little bit high inside that makes batters think, well, hey, we can find a way to. They might think, well, we can hit this ball deep. We can get a piece of it and knock it out of here. And Gothrop's able to say, well, not so fast. I got the advantage on you. And the 1-1. Slapped over to second. Peyton Smith makes the play, and the inning is over. That is a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Knightstown. And time running out on them in this game. We go to the 7th, and Daleville has the upper hand, 3-0 on 9-Star TV.
This month,
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
comedy comes in threes. No pranks here. It's the Fools of April on April Fools. We've got a marathon with one wild and crazy guy, Steve Martin, on April 13th. And finally,
You haven't heard of Cheech and Chong?
a true blunt of a stunt on 420.
Well, the Daleville Broncos have led from the outset. They lead 3-0. I shouldn't say from the outset. They've led since the first inning. The first two innings were relatively, packed with drama. There were a lot of guys getting on base, and then Daleville drew first blood in the top of the third when an error led to a runner scoring. And then they've added two more since then, got two more on the board there in the fifth, and lead Knightstown 3-0. Daleville a record of 10-4. Knightstown 6-7. So right now, if you're Knightstown, you got to hope for a comeback. What you got to do, you got to get a quick 1-2-3 inning. Again, new pitcher Ben Newby out
leading
there
off for
on
Daleville,
the
the second baseman, number 14,
job
Peyton Smith.
in the 6th, getting 3 straight batters to go down, 2 of which he got to strike out. The pitch, and to Braden Anderson, long throw, got him. So at this point, as Max Stecker got him, if you are Knightstown, you got to find a way to play a little
with
more.
With one out, the third baseman, number 12,
and
Jared Woltemeyer.
It's good, even though they've struggled with errors a little bit, that plays like that should give them hope going forward for how they can play defensively.
And especially going against the meat of the order, starting off with the number 3 hitter and now the number 4 hitter, and also getting him with one pitch. So that's the way you want to start off the 7th inning. And Newby has looked really good so far against his first 4 batters. Got 2 strikeouts in the last inning when he first got to the mound, and now he's only thrown a few pitches ever since he came in.
Off the glove of Corbett, that pitch. I think Corbett had couldn't believe that he wasn't able to hang on to that one, but luckily nobody on base to hurt there yet.
You have some of those as a catcher. You'll have balls that will go right off the edge of your mitt, and you're thinking, well, that didn't happen. That hasn't happened yet. Why did it happen now? Here's a fly out and another easy out.
Brennan Anderson makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down quickly in the top of the 7th. So the last hope for
with 2 outs,
Knightstown
the catcher, number
will be
18,
their 3, 4, and 5
Pittsburgh.
batters of Aaron Regan, Ben Newby, and Ethan Yoder. Of course, nobody has been able to get a hit for Knightstown aside from their leadoff man, Jose Olivo, who was just retired in the 6th on a strikeout. The pitch. One hops its way to home plate and then bounces to the wall. To Ethan Pittsford. Now Pittsford's 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout, fly out, hit by a pitch back in the first inning by Aaron Regan, the starting pitcher. Ben Newby on in relief here in the top of the 7th. And as you take a look there, just something to be ready for if you are Daleville. Again, the guy they have up, warming up there on the right side, you see is Brendan Anderson. And Anderson, as that one is skied into right. And caught in shallow right by Ethan Yoder, the second baseman. So 2 straight quick 1-2-3 innings for Daleville, but they still lead 3-0. So you got Peyton Smith. He's the one up in the, I said the wrong 14 there. Peyton Smith is the one warming up in the bullpen there for Daleville.
And it looks like he's going to make his way to the mound.
Okay. Now that's a place to be right there. Those ladies know how it's going. It's nice to have that when you have the bleachers to yourself and you can lean back. You don't have to worry about somebody, sitting behind you.
Now pitching for Daleville, number 14, Peyton
You can
Smith.
just recline and take it easy.
All the room that you need.
All the room, indeed. Well, I would think Peyton Smith would be eligible here to get the save because it's right at a 3-run lead. So Caden Gothrop would be the guy who would have a chance to get the win, and then Peyton Smith trying to come on and slam the door to get the save, and you can tell right there, just very impressive numbers. 2-0 record, 19 strikeouts, ERA 1.56. That is simply sensational.
And right up there in the pitching ranks is Peyton Smith. The ERA is the lowest on the team, and also the 19 strikeouts, which are second on the team. Or they were second on the team until Gothrop came in and threw a gem. 10 strikeouts on the game as he's in line for the win. The man who is first in strikeouts for the Broncos is Evan Etchison, who started at first base tonight. He has the most innings pitched with 36 strikeouts. Also a 1.57 ERA for Etchison, which is only .01 higher than Peyton Smith.
The left fielder, number 5, Aaron
Peyton Smith
Reagan.
was playing second base.
And I believe a sub has come in at second. That looks like to be Blaine Tig. That might be how you pronounce it.
There's a swing and a drive to center. And there for the catch. So Aaron Reagan quickly out. So he is 0 for 2 with a walk.
One out. The pitcher, number 44, Ben Newby.
Ben Newby now the pitcher. Blaine Tig takes over at second base while Peyton Smith comes in to finish off the game. Smith played second before that. That is a wicked curveball that he just lofted at Ben Newby. Now Newby 0 for 2, a ground out to second and a strikeout.
You could see that pitch on that replay even.
Talk about
comes back with a fastball.
And it's fouled off by Newby. And this is, you can tell why a guy like Smith is being asked to try to finish up and get the save. It's because he moves quickly, he gets ahead in the count, and he's got a lot of movement on these pitches.
A beautiful 1-2 punch Daleville has presented with us, and just hangs that breaking ball there. But it was Gothrop the first 6 innings who just consistently got ahead, had guys down 0-2, and then was able to throw whatever he wanted. That fastball was fast, and that breaking ball had some movement.
Not going to beat that throw, or he's not going to be able to throw him out, rather, was Tig. So that'll be an infield single for Ben Newby. And that's just
that's a
well-placed ball.
Number 6,
and
Ethan Yoder.
Tig did all he could to pick it up and throw there, but Newby just hit it in the right place. And Ethan Yoder is next. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out to third.
And sometimes that infield grass is a real pain in the butt when it slows that ball down like that, because you hit it towards the second baseman, and he's expecting it to come at you fast, but if it doesn't make it to the dirt, it's going to slow down in that grass, and unfortunately Tig wasn't able to make that play.
Throw to first base, and back in time goes Newby. Well, the tying run is on deck, and again, you certainly can't rule out a comeback. I have seen crazier things in baseball. One of the craziest games I ever saw in a high school game was in the bottom of a 7th. The team was down 3-0, and they came back and just got a couple of hits here, scored a couple runs, and with runners on first and second, down 3-2, the guy hit a game-winning double down the right field line and scored both runs to win the game on a walk-off. So it is certainly not out of the realm of possibility here for Daleville or Knightstown, as you see the throw over. Very, very close. Good effort by Etchison to apply the tag, but that pitch is lofted high by Peyton Smith.
Would love to see an easy base on balls if you're Ethan Yoder and Knightstown. Get 2 guys on with just 1 out. Comes in with a strike there, however. Anderson is the one on deck. He has 0 for 2 so far.
Again, though, it's a whole new slate, because a lot of these guys that struggled were guys that faced Gothrop. And Gothrop has been on another level tonight. Not that Peyton Smith didn't start off well, but now he's in a bit of a jam here, and he just walked him. So Ethan Yoder, 0 for 2 before that at bat, draws a walk. And after getting Regan to fly out to center, now you've got the tying run
pinch hitting
on
for
deck.
Knightstown, number 27, Caleb Pyle.
This will be a pinch hitter. So Caleb Pyle.
Yeah, it looks like Anderson won't be up, but Caleb Pyle will come off the bench.
And Pyle was a guy that we saw in the warm-up, in the bullpen, warming up to pitch to possibly come into this game, but instead he comes into this game as a pinch hitter. So that is a bit of a twist. 1 out. And again, he represents the tying run. Daleville not out of this by a long shot yet. The pitch. And Smith misses on that one.
Pyle has good numbers so far this year, batting .325, 13 hits, which is up there near the top of the team ranks, right behind Aaron Regan. So definitely a kid who can put the ball in play. There's no doubt about that.
He's also second on the team in doubles with 3 of them. And he bloops this one into shallow right center, and a backpedaling Blaine Tigg makes the catch. That could have been trouble, Jarrett, because you look at this. This was very close to being a bloop single, but Tigg said, nope, I got it.
The third baseman,
Nicely
number
done.
10, Max Muncy.
But even if that ball does drop, you're probably only
Right.
looking at bases loaded, so not much damage done, except a run is just much closer to scoring. So, but great play there by Tigg. Now gets 2 outs for his Broncos.
Yep, for Max Muncy, and he is the last hope for Knightstown. If he can somehow stay alive and get on base, it goes to Matthew Kraft. This portion of the order has not been able to get a hit. And that changes now. As he hits this one down the left field line, it's fair. Wilson picks it up, and Knightstown is on the board. All right. Max Muncy with the RBI single that scores Ben Newby. And it is now 3-1 the score for Daleville. They've got runners on first and second.
Number 55, Ben Brown.
So Ben Brown comes up now to pinch hit for Matthew Kraft. Ben Brown on the year. 429, but again, he's only played in 8 of the games so far, making his first appearance tonight, pinch hitting for Matthew Kraft. Well, this game just got a whole lot more interesting. Pitch is high. 1-0. If Peyton Smith allows 2 more runs to score, it'll be a blown save. He allows 3 more runs to score, he will take the loss. And there is a hack foul, but good piece of hitting there by Brown to get it and drive it down the line. As you know, Jarrett, getting that third out, third everything in baseball, third strike, third out, not easy.
Absolutely. And what a tremendous opportunity here for Ben Brown in a big-time spot, 2 outs. He's the winning run.
And that pitch is a bad one. It went outside, but Pittsford was able to block it and do a great job of keeping it in front of him. Because if that ball gets behind him or gets to the wall, there'd be 2 runners in scoring position right now for Knightstown. That one smashed up the middle. It'll get down. Price picks it up. There's the throw home. What a cannon for an arm he just had. Oh my goodness. He threw it home and prevented Ethan Yoder from scoring. So bases are loaded now with
the catcher, number 12.
2 outs. Brock Corbett is up. Now, he has struggled tonight, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Again, though, both of those strikeouts were against Caden Gothrop, not against Ethan Smith. The pitch. Strike one.
I just want to take a second to talk about that throw from
Oh,
Josh Price from center.
Yeah.
I mean, online, he would have had the runner at third by 45 feet.
Oh,
I mean, there's no doubt about it. So, good job on Darren Hardesty's part, knowing how the outfielders are for Daleville and the arms that they had. But what a tremendous throw by Josh Price.
And he, even though he knew he couldn't get up to it to catch it for the out, he let it bounce in front of him, made the smart play, and just got the ball home. And a good stop again. Ethan Smith having all kinds of trouble out there with his command, and the ball in the dirt makes it 1-1.
Good effort there by Pittsford, being a wall.
That one slapped over to third. There comes Walter Meyer, the throw to first, and it gets by him. It gets by Evan Etchison. One run is in, another run is in, and we have a tie game. Unbelievable.
It isn't over until it's over, John.
No, it's not, and you just had a feeling after they got that first hit that things could be tipping their way. And again, let's see this throw from Walter Meyer. Not a great throw.
The center fielder,
and that will be
number 11,
E5 on him.
Olivo.
And it allows 2 runs to score. We are deadlocked at 3. And Muncie comes around to score. So does Yoder. And now we've got runners on second and third with 2 outs. And back to the top of the order with Jose Olivo,
who they happen to intentionally walk.
Okay,
so now
they just walked him. Okay.
They're going to put Fort up to bat now.
So so Jack Fort will be the one coming up. And wow, if this happens, you might as well call me a prophet. I told you that I saw a game happen
now batting,
similar
the
with
first
a team
baseman, number 42,
3-0.
Jack Fort.
And not hold on to the lead in the bottom of the 7th.
Now, it wasn't a blow-away hit, obviously,
but
you couldn't have put it in a better spot if you were Brock Corbett hitting that ball. You have a big kid at third base for Daleville, which is Jared Waltermeyer, and I think he just let the noise get to him, and it was a bad throw.
There, one smashed into right center by Jack Fort. On the way, he goes back, and the catch is made by Josh Price. So the inning comes to an end. We are going to extra innings in Knightstown, and it is 3-3 after 7. What a comeback by Knightstown to tie this game up. We'll have the 8th when we return in just a moment. You're watching 9 Star TV. Well, how about that for a twist of fate? Daleville had a 3-0 lead on Knightstown going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and Knightstown rallies back to tie the game up at 3. And unfortunately for Caden Gothrop, a young man who pitched a whale of a game for Daleville, gets a no decision, and Peyton Smith will get the blown save as he lets Knightstown come back and tie this game up at 3. However, the bad news for Knightstown, they do leave 3 men aboard with the bases loaded to end the 7th. And it ended with a Jack Fort fly out to center. But now the question is, can Ben Newby continue to pitch the way he has been pitching the last couple of innings? Because Aaron Regan came out of the game. Ben Newby has come in on in relief, and he has done very, very well. Let's take a look at what happened here in the 7th to nod this baby up. The bad throw by Waltermeyer got by the first baseman, Evan Etchison. That
Leading
is what
off for
allowed 2
Daleville,
runs to come
the
around and
first baseman,
score.
number
And
7,
that is why
Evan
we are
Etchison.
where we are right now.
A 3-1 game with 2
2
outs
outs
also for Daleville. And then that little dribbler by Corbett, the bad throw, 2-run score. We have a brand new ball game going into extras.
Evan Etchison is up, and he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Good throw there by Newby to start off the top of the 8th. And now the question is, what do you do if you are Daleville going into the bottom of the 8th? Do you stick with Smith, or do you possibly go with another pitcher? That one is high to even the count up at a ball and a strike from Ben Newby. This is the 6, 7, and 8 portion of the batting order for Daleville.
Talking about Peyton Smith, John, I mean, he was pitching very well. I mean, he had guys guessing at the plate. Throws a really mean heater, a really mean curveball.
Yep.
And really, most of those runs weren't his fault. So I would expect him to come back out and try and finish off the 8th inning if Daleville can get a run here.
And that one chopped over to third, and Muncie having trouble with it, but he's still able to pick it up and get him out. Nice play by Max Muncie. So he is able to retire Etchison, who is now 2 for 4. He has 2 of their hits, but he just got retired there.
Now batting the second
2 of their
baseman,
3
number
hits.
11, Blaine Tighe.
Etchison has hit the ball pretty well, pretty solid contact so far in this game. And we see Jimmy Bowen head to the plate.
Actually, it's Blaine Tighe pinch hitting for Bowen. So there's the first pitch is high to him, and it's ball 1. So we're going to probably get to the point of the game where we see a lot of pinch hitters. And he is only played in 3 games. Now he has been able to get hits in both of his times up, but again, we just haven't seen a whole lot of him. But now he gets to come up in a big situation here in the top of the 8th with the game tied. The 1-1, a little bit high, 2-1. So really, and props to that home plate umpire. He has been consistently giving that part of the strike zone, which has been a little bit high, to the batter. And that time he gives that one a strike to Ben Newby.
Yeah, he has called a pretty consistent game.
Yeah.
I haven't been too many complaints, or any complaints actually, from the players or even the coaches. Haven't heard the fans rattle up about anything.
There's a chopper over towards second base. Ethan Yoder got him. Able to throw out Blaine Tighe, and we go to Aiden Wilson next, and he is 0 for 3, reaching on an error on a fielder's choice and struck out in the 5th inning. Everything, it's just interesting. Daleville came into this game 6 games above 500. Knightstown 1 game below 500.
Pinch hitting for Daleville,
struggling.
number 22, Braden Danner.
We got another pinch hitter for Daleville. And it is Braden Danner, a sophomore.
Does have a good amount of hits so far this year. Could reach the double digits with one here.
Check swing.
Looks like they did call a strike on that.
Did,
we'll watch the replay, see if he went.
Boy, that's the bat kind of does.
Tough to call.
Yeah, I think the bat went forward enough before he pulled it back to consider it a strike. The 0-1 knocks it back to the net, foul, 0-2.
It would be nice to have a camera angle right down the first base line.
Yep.
But
Knightstown will send up batters 3, 4, and 5. Aaron Reagan, Ben Newby, and Ethan Yoder. That's who's due up in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-2. Got him swinging. What a job to end that inning. And it's amazing, Jarrett, how momentum has completely changed against Daleville. I mean, going into the 6th inning, Ben Newby comes on in relief of Aaron Reagan, who struggled all outing long. Newby comes in and has not given up a hit to anybody.
Absolutely.
He has 3 strikeouts and has just been simply magnificent. And we go to the bottom of the 8th now, and Knightstown has a chance to pull off the win. They had every single batter come up in that bottom of the 7th.
And we'll talk about Regan's line for just a minute.
Yeah.
And you're talking about 7 walks, and then his defense also had 4 or 5 errors. So you're thinking
he only gave up 1 earned run.
That's right, and you're thinking there's no way Knightstown should be in this game, but yet the momentum shifts. One thing happens, and that leads to another, and now we have a tie ball game. Still, anything can happen here with Regan, one of their best hitters, leading off this bottom of the 8th.
And again,
Aaron Regan.
High school baseball games only go 7 innings, but now we are in extras because of the tie-up there by Knightstown. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th with Aaron Regan up, and he's now playing in left field. How ironic would it be if he plays a role in helping win this game, even though he was the pitcher and struggled, and he would have a chance now to help his team win on the opposite side with his bat. But he's quickly behind here 0-2 against Peyton Smith, and Smith has settled down and tried to get back into a groove after that rough ending to the 7th. And did he go around? He says he did. Yep.
We'll try and check the replay here to see if he did in fact go around. My first instinct said he didn't, but
now batting,
we're going to guess the first base umpire has
the
best look at it of anything. But
Ben Newby, 1 for 3 with a single, a run scored, and really, I mean, as he pops this one up, it's down the first base line and goes foul over into the batting cages. But yeah, he really, I would argue that ever since he came into the game, both pitching as a pitcher, he changed the game with how he's pitched, and then he got the inning started. Remember, Smith came in to start off the 7th. He got Regan to fly out. Newby singled. This one he dribbles foul, so he's quickly behind here 0-2. But he singled, then Yoder walked, and then Caleb Pyle came in and flew out to second. Then after that, Muncie singles, and then another single by Ben Brown, followed by the big error, of course, that tied the game. But it really started when Newby got the single in the 7th, trying to start another rally here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch from Smith, ripped into left, and that gets through. Perfectly hit baseball by Ben Newby.
Nice piece of hitting there by Ben Newby, but really confused by what Peyton Smith was going with here on an 0-2 pitch. Left that ball well over the middle of the plate. Was able to let Newby get a hold of that. You know, with an 0-2 pitch, you're thinking he's going to throw some junk or throw something high or way outside to where see if Ben Newby will chase after it. But in that instance, left that ball well over the plate.
0 for 2 is Ethan Yoder with a walk and a run scored. And Newby will be heavily checked here, I would imagine, at first base. Looking at his base running numbers this season, you definitely need to watch him. He has stolen 5 bases on the year, but boy, it would be gutsy if he went now. That pitch gets away from him, and he will get into second base. So that one got away from Smith a little bit, low and outside. Ethan Pittsford, who has done a magnificent job all game of blocking pitches. That one was just too low and outside, and he did all he could to stop that one, but
Pittsford definitely has done a tremendous job behind the plate. That one, though, didn't really use his body, didn't get his chest protector out there to get that ball. He thought he could just snow cone it to his right side. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And now you have a runner in scoring position, the winning run.
The winning run, yep. Ethan Yoder with a walk and a run scored. The pitch is upstairs, 2-1. This was the part of the order in the 7th that completely changed things for Knightstown. Could they do it again? All they really need at this point is one base knock into the outfield somewhere. And that one rip and a miss by Yoder, 2-2. This is a baseball game that's had just about everything. Strikeouts, walks, hits, errors, runs.
Yeah, you're looking at...
I mean, this is a baseball game that has literally probably every single part of the game. You've seen it in this one.
And especially the errors category is one that is really going to jump out when we look at it at the end of this game.
Yeah, 9 combined errors. The pitch upstairs to make it a full count, 3-2 to Ethan Yoder. And then after this, we go to Caleb Pyle, or at least Pyle was the pinch hitter last time. He would be the guy you would think we would see again. Throw to second. Goes off a Tiggs glove, but he gets it back. My goodness.
Real risky throw there.
I mean, that is an
incredibly
risky throw.
Smith, being the senior, probably has some confidence there on the mound, but that's something you almost don't want to do.
And he fouled it off. Just got enough of it. Barely grazed it.
With a pitch like that, though, somewhere around the outside corner of the plate, Yoder will want to try and make sure he can go to right field with that pitch, let it get deep into the plate, hit it to right field, and you might be looking at the game-winning single right there.
Ball 4. And Caleb Pyle is the man up, so they're going to stick with him. Even, Pyle almost hit a bloop single, but it was caught by a backpedaling.
Now batting, number 27, Caleb Pyle.
And really no damage done by that walk from Peyton Smith.
Yeah.
Now you have a force out anywhere from first to third, but a pretty decent hitter here in Caleb Pyle. So Peyton Smith is going to want to have to attack him with his best stuff.
Pitch in there for a strike. Ooh, boy. And Newby was moving. You saw him, and that's why the catcher, Ethan Pittsford, was ready to possibly throw him out. But it would be a really gutsy move by Newby if he tried to steal third. His lead at second is very, very small at this point. And that pitch a little bit high, 1-1. Again, though, it's close, but that umpire has consistently called balls in that area of the zone a ball, not a strike, all game long. The 1-1 will be delayed because Smith wanted to check Newby at second base.
And I can't imagine Coach Hardesty will want to do anything too spectacular here.
And Smith got him to chase and miss it, 1-2.
Newby with a short lead at second. Yoder over at first after being walked. Pyle should be ready for anything here, 1-2.
He was not ready for that one. Peyton Smith got him to go down swinging, and now it's up to Max Muncy. Now remember, Muncy does have an RBI single.
Now batting, number 10, Max Muncy.
Should we go to the top of the ninth? It'll be batters 9-1-2. Now Caden Gothrop, who is out of the game as the pitcher, could probably still hit batting ninth, and it's Max Stecker and Josh Price. That is if Muncy does not hit the game winner here. The pitch to him, high and away, 1-0. In a strange baseball game. Daleville, if they lose this game, will be looking back at the men they've left on base and the base running mistakes they made early in this game. They've left 8 men aboard. But now Peyton Smith is in a groove, and that is a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Hopefully Muncy is feeling that confidence and that spark that he had that last inning, hitting that RBI single. And a 2-1 now is a good count for Muncy to expect most likely a fastball.
Mm-hmm.
And Smith does throw some pretty nice heat, but if Muncy is ready for that fastball, we could see another RBI hit right here.
And he rips that one into right. That gets down, picked up by Jimmy Bowen. Here's the throw, and the play at the plate. He's safe! And the Knightstown Panthers come all the way back from down 3-0 to pull off the win in extra innings, 4-3.
Unbelievable.
What a rally by the Panthers. They looked dead to rights. Things were not going their way. Then the 7th inning happened, and then this happened. Max Muncy is the hero. Jimmy Bowen does all he can to try to get the ball in play, and good effort to get the play in at the plate, but it's not in time, and the Knightstown Panthers rally from down 3-0 to win it 4-3 over Daleville. Jarrett, Lewis, and I will recap it, and we'll have the final numbers for you and final thoughts when we return in just a moment from this great baseball contest in Knightstown on 9 Star TV.
You betrayed the Brotherhood, and your sentence is banishment.
What am I if not a Templar?
Some brothers believe Landry may yet be saved. I am not one of them.
There is a stain on my soul. My sins have followed me here.
King Philip has declared us his enemy.
We are at war. Behold God's wrath!
Nightfall. All new Mondays at 10 on History.
There you take a look at a very happy Knightstown Panther baseball team. Down 3-0. They come back and win it over Daleville 4-3 in extra innings. Max Muncy gets your RBI single, and he ends up scoring the game-winning run from Ben Newby. And fitting, Jarrett, that Ben Newby scores the winning run, because I would argue, as I said during the broadcast, things started to change in Knightstown's favor when Ben Newby came on to relief pitch, and then this base hit right there was what did it. And unreal what a turnaround it was, and what a much-needed win for a Knightstown baseball team that just last night against Tri lost 15-0, and they come here back home against a very good Daleville team that was 10-4 coming in, and they pull off a come-from-behind victory in front of their home crowd. That has to be great for their confidence and they're just a big ego boost for them going forward. This is the play in the 7th inning that Daleville will remember, because it was the bad throw by Jared Waltermeyer that happened with Daleville up 3-1, and he misfires on that throw that allows 2 runs to come around to score and tie the game up at 3, put us into extra innings, and then the game-winning RBI single that you saw there to give Knightstown the 4-3 win.
And I'm sure if we had the chance to interview Coach Hardesty, he would say that his team didn't give up despite all the errors they had, despite just some of the mishaps they had, base running. They didn't give up. The 7th inning, they had 1 hit that led to another, and then, of course, the bad throw from Waltermeyer scores 2 runs. It's 3-3. It's a whole new ball game. Now they have all this momentum. They have Ben Newby on the mound, who no offense to Aaron Regan, who started this game, or no shots to him. He just wasn't as comfortable on the mound. Of course, had plenty of walks to give out, but he wasn't as confident as what Ben Newby showed us. Newby stepped on the mound, got a few strikeouts in the 2 innings that he was up there, and he was really the one that started this game this past 2 innings for Knightstown, where they scored 4 runs in the last 2 innings to come back and win this game 4-3. And you mentioned the 15-0 loss that Knightstown had last night. That's 15 runs. That's on their home field, and that's a county rival. So that's a huge game that Knightstown, just had the crap kicked out of them.
Yeah.
And then they come back here. They face a much better Daleville team, and they don't give up, and they win this game on the RBI single from Max Muncy.
And that's definitely that can be a season-changing win right there. And I've seen it certainly happen before, so that's a huge boost to their confidence. By the way, Peyton Smith, who came on to try to close the game out, he does not do that. He ends up getting the blown save and then the loss, which is a shame, because Caden Gothrop came in and pitched 6 innings of scoreless baseball and struck out and had 10 strikeouts in the game, was in line for the win, and he will get the no decision. And Ben Newby, who came on to pitch 3 excellent innings of baseball, did not give up a hit, and had 3 strikeouts. He goes on to be the winning pitcher for Knightstown.
Caden Gothrop pitched an absolutely brilliant game. His fastball was fast. His breaking stuff was there. He had guys guessing at the plate. He blew by some guys with his fastball. He was in control of this game, and I don't think it's a question of whether you leave him in, because I think Peyton Smith did a good job as well. His defense behind him didn't really step up in that 7th inning to keep those runs from scoring. So it's really not Peyton Smith's fault at all. Him and Gothrop combined pitched a tremendous game. But for Daleville, they're going to look back at all the mistakes that they made, all the errors, the base running mishaps, and all the chances they had to prevent this game from ending up being put in the hands of the Knightstown Panthers, who come away with the win.
Yeah, that second inning where Daleville had 3 guys get caught stealing or get retired on base paths because of poor base running. How big does that inning come back to be when you lose a game by 1 after leading by 3, when you could have easily had more runs get across? Your final score, 4-3, the Knightstown Panthers beat the Daleville Broncos. They go to 7-7 on the year. Daleville drops to 10-5. For my partner, Jarrett Lewis and John Painter, all the fine folks on the 9-Star TV crew, I'm John Herrick saying so long from Knightstown. You've been watching 9-Star TV.